Hello there.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Bex.
Are you all right?
Yes, great. Well, we finally made it. This is our Christmas Eve show.
Yes, it is. Very exciting.
Hence our festive attire. Yes. I'm not taking this off, by the way, because the hair's real straight. So.
Yeah, so if you take it off now, we're in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a brilliant Christmas Eve show lined up. Lots of new plans and products.
Lots of new ones, some exciting ones, some that are going on Shaun's list, some that are going on my list, hopefully some that are going to go on your list as well.
I'm just looking at, honestly, we've got some really unusual things. We've got a strawberry tree over there.
I know.
Yes.
That strawberry tree, the vinca, really like that. We've got some interesting edibles. We've got thornless blackberries and we've got a late cropping blueberry over there.
Yeah. But, I wonder what you're doing Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you peeling vegetables?
Oof.
Are you watching us in the kitchen whilst you're peeling the carrots and the potatoes?
Have you got a glass of sherry on the go already?
Oh.
That was always our tradition at Christmas.
Yeah.
Glass of
Absolutely.
sherry.
Also, it's chef's privilege.
Yeah,
I'm the chef,
why
by the way.
sherry? I don't know, because I never drink it any other time of the year.
No, I know.
But anyway, I hope you're having a great day, whatever you do. Just tell you a few things. So, this is a bit sad, actually.
Oh.
This is one of the last shows featuring this.
Oh, no.
It is.
Yeah, our free postage for over £30. Unfortunately, we're having to end that at the end of December.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is one of the last opportunities to get hold of that. Don't worry, though, we will have lots more offers and deals and bargains galore in the new year. But unfortunately, we're having to say goodbye to this particular one.
So do take advantage of that. And do shop across the whole website. But if you do spend over £30, you will get free delivery. Talking of free, we still have a free gift, don't we?
We do indeed. So the crocus species mix that we've got here. So these are the bulbs that will come to you. There are 40 of those included in there. Please don't worry, get them planted.
Yes.
Just get them planted. Put them in the grass, put them as drifts through the lawn. Then you don't have to worry about them. They'll pop up for you. They might just pop up a little bit later, but also they naturalise. So that means that you will have them next year and the year after and then a year after that.
I honestly planted some mine the other day and I'm very, very optimistic. I have planted crocus bulbs in December before and they are absolutely fine. All you need to do though to access all of the offers on this Christmas Eve show is use that special code which is YGTV 51. That is the code for this week. YGTV 51. Right.
Should we do it? Let's get on it, shall we? We're looking at the fairy bush, I think.
We are, aren't we?
We're all excited about the fairy blush. Sorry, not the bush. Although it is a bush, so
It
why
is a
not?
bush, yeah.
We can call it a bush and a blush.
But we were both chatting before the show and we said, oh my word, what a beautiful magnolia. Now, I didn't realise, because it's a new variety to me, I said to Bex, I said, hang on, it's still got leaves on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise, but it's semi-evergreen, isn't it?
It's mostly evergreen,
Wow.
yeah. So this one is a bit different to a lot of the magnolias out there.
Yeah, mine I've got a few in my garden. Different stellata is one of mine, but this one is called Fairy Blush and it is evergreen, or if you're in a really cold area, semi-evergreen. But look at these flowers. The blush that you get in the magnolia flowers is absolutely gorgeous.
It is so pretty, isn't it? Sorry about my
Bring on
cough
spring,
there.
don't you, Bex? It's that time of year.
Oh my word, I cannot
that
wait.
sherry got to your throat, didn't it?
I do adore a magnolia.
So do
we
I.
all do, don't we? They are just some of the most glorious things out there. And when those flowers pop into bloom in sort of March and April and maybe even into May time, they are absolutely stunning, aren't they? And the fact that you're getting a mostly evergreen bush here as well, I think it's incredible.
So all my magnolias are just twigs at the moment, but this is mostly evergreen. It does come in the 3-litre pot as well. Now, I'm definitely going to buy this one because what really interested me, it's a little bit more compact as well, isn't it?
It is a bit more compact. So ultimate growth height, we're talking maybe 4 metres in height. It'll take a little while to get there. But yes, ultimate growth height is that height.
Yeah, that is actually quite compact for magnolia.
It is incredibly compact for magnolia, and it'll spread as well. You can spread by about 3 metres. So as we showed you in one of those pictures, you could plant en masse and create a bit of a hedge going on there as well. So it doesn't just have to be a feature on its own. You could create a bit of a hedge there too. But the other really important thing to get across to you with this particular magnolia as well is that this one, because of its newer variety, because of its breeding, it is going to flower for you on younger trees,
Great, so you
younger
don't
bushes.
have to wait for years and years.
Yeah, you know, with some magnolias, you do have to wait a long time, don't you, in order to get those flowers.
Yeah, you really do.
Not so with your fairy blush. It will flower on younger trees and bushes.
What an amazing start to our Christmas Eve show.
Really amazing. When you look at all of the great features of that is incredible, isn't it? Now, that's the one on your list, isn't it?
Do you know, it's too late now, but I'm thinking, I wish I've got quite a few hedges in my garden that I've planted in the last few years, and I wish I had planted a magnolia hedge.
You could do it with this. You could, if you got, I mean, depending on the size that you need to cover, 2 or 3 of those would fill quite a gap, wouldn't it? And you'd get a lovely hedge going on.
Now, what about position?
Sun.
Yeah.
It's the same with all of your magnolias, really. They do want as much sun as you can give them, and I would also suggest slightly sheltered as well, because you know what happens.
Yeah, you don't want it to be in a really windy spot, do you? You don't want all those beautiful flowers to suddenly disappear in a storm.
I mean, look, they're beautiful, but we know what can happen, unfortunately, to magnolias, you know, if we get a windy day.
My next door neighbour, so not my next door neighbour, my mum's next door neighbour, they've got a magnolia, and it's a huge, huge tree. And it is in full sun, but it's in a really exposed area. In some years, when there's a bit of a spring storm, it's rather sad.
It is a bit sad. I know, I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. Have you got a drink?
I've got a drink. I've got my little sweets. I've got my
sherry.
honey. I've got some Cavonia.
Oh.
Cavonia.
Oh no, I like that one.
No, it's great.
Yeah, I like the taste of that.
Reminds me of childhood for some reason. I think that must be what I used to get given when I was a kid.
Bex will be fine, won't you?
I'm all right.
Plants will keep us happy.
I've got an annoying little cough, that's all.
But what a beautiful start to the show. Brand new for Christmas Eve, the Magnolia Fairy Blush. So a compact variety, only going to a maximum of 4 metres, which is fairly small for Magnolia. Sunny position, sheltered if you can, just to protect the flowers, and mostly evergreen.
Yeah, and a £10 saving on that today. That is incredible.
Yeah, it really is. And it does arrive in a 3-litre pot as well. Now, don't forget, if you are a club member, and we have got many, many discount club members, you'll always get 10% off all the plants and our compost and accessories. So you'd actually get that for the best part of £18. But aren't those flowers absolutely extraordinary? They are beautiful. And I love the idea of potentially planting a hedge in this as well. So I think all magnolias are gorgeous, and in springtime they do stand out. And although they don't flower for long periods of time in general, those weeks where they are in flower, my word, they're spectacular.
They're beautiful, and you will get, several flushes with this as well. It will continue to flower for you. You'll get your main flowering season.
But you might get a few.
But you'll get a few more going on with this one as well.
Because I know with some of my varieties, I do get a second flush near autumn time, and it's always like so nice to see it flower again.
Absolutely, I love it when that happens.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really popular today. And don't forget, you have got £4.99 postage, but if you get your order to over £30, you will get free delivery. But that promotion does finish at the end of December. Now, about 6 weeks ago, we had loads of you ordering the Sarcococca, but we've got a brand new deal on this. And you can either go for one or you can double up as well. So you get a brilliant deal on that double up price. Fantastic. And we're showing this one out because it won't be long until this is in flower.
No, it really isn't going to be long at all, because this you can see all the buds that are on there. You can see all those little buds just starting to come along. Now that's going to flower all the way throughout that bush, and it'll start blooming for you probably in around December time, and it'll keep going through January, February, March. But the beautiful thing about this is the intoxicating fragrance that you get from the Sarcococca. It is sweet, it is vanilla-y, it is, I mean, it's a strong fragrance, and I say that with the best intentions because it is the most glorious fragrance.
And when this gets established, you might well want to just snip some branches off, bring them inside, because a little display of this will fill a room with the most gorgeous fragrance.
Honestly, it is, I mean, intoxicating is the right word for it. I discovered this particular plant years ago, had no idea what it was, but I was out and walking around these beautiful lakes near where we used to live, and I could just smell this gorgeous fragrance on the air, and I was hunting it down, and I found this plant. I took loads of pictures of it because I was determined to find out what it was. I needed it in my garden. Now, you might have heard of it as Christmas box or sweet box.
Yeah, sweet box, I know it as.
That's how I discovered it, so I sent pictures to my mum. And she, what is this, Mum? I need this in my life. And she knew what it was, thankfully. So once I had the name, I went out and bought it, and I've had it in my garden probably, I mean, it must be about 7 or 8 years now. I've actually gone and got a second one because I love it so much. The fragrance is incredible. You definitely want to plant it somewhere where you can take advantage of that. So that's why I've dug it up out of the border and I put it into a pot so I can move it closer to the house so I can really take advantage of it.
And honestly, when it is really bleak in January and February time, when you're leaving the house and it's all a bit dull and dreary, you know, they're not the best of months, are they, January, February? This will just bring a smile to your face because that fragrance is divine. I really like the leaves as well. It's totally evergreen, so you've got that gorgeous foliage all year round. Now, I've actually got some of these as well, and mine started off as little babies, but they haven't grown that much because they are relatively slow growing, aren't they?
They have a really nice, steady growth habit. So these do not take over. They don't become unruly. They're not a thug. They don't take over all of the other plants at all. They're a nice, steady grower. So if you've got a smaller garden, this is great. I mean, it's great for any garden.
And great for pots.
And perfect for pots. But if you do have a smaller garden, obviously you need to think a bit more carefully, don't you? You don't want anything that's really going to take over or be thuggish or, you know, get in the way of other plants. This one is an absolutely brilliant one. Plus, doesn't mind a bit of shade, this.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. So it's a really good one for those kind of shady corners that they can be tricky to fill. We don't know what to put in them. You can put an evergreen, luscious, fragrant beauty into that shady corner and it will do brilliantly.
Yeah, I think people often forget this is a good one for shade, but it really, really is. If you want to go for it today, we've got an amazing double up deal. Great value, and the first time we've done that. And I agree with Bex, 2 of these to spread that fragrance around the garden. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous.
Or even if you had them in pots as well.
Yeah.
Again, you know what
you
a
like
fan
your symmetry,
I
don't
am
you?
of the symmetry. Sorry to all the regulars because I do keep saying it. But, you know, if you had one of those in a pot, either side of your back door, either side of your front door, over the winter period, you'd really be able to get advantage of that fragrance. And you could Christmassy it up.
We got there, didn't we?
It's not a word, but I'm going to go with
like
it. But you could put some little twinkly lights around it. You could make it feel really festive.
I think you can Christmassy up anything, don't you?
You really can. Well, we Christmassied you up, didn't we?
We did.
Stick a hat on him and all of a sudden he looks like Father Christmas.
Actually, Bex lent me this hat, because my hair did look a bit of a mess when I came in, didn't it?
Well, you hadn't done anything with it, that's all.
No, I know. Yeah, I know, and I'm keeping the hat on. That's better, isn't it? Nice and warm, anyway.
It's toasty. It keeps you nice and cosy.
Well, it is our Christmas Eve show, of course. Can we just take the opportunity to say thank you to everyone that supported us in 2022? So we've had a great start to YouGarden TV. Right, we better move on, because we've got loads in the show. And we have got...
Oh, hang on. That pricing is correct, by the way. Just need to point that out. Your eyes are not deceiving you. It's £5 less if you go for 2. We were just questioning it.
Well, I'll be honest, I was kind of avoiding the price on the screen. I thought, well...
We've had clarification.
So it's £19.99 for one, but if you put a second one in, it takes a £5 off. Well, this is good for Christmas Eve, isn't it?
What is that about?
Yeah.
That's weird. Right, okay.
No, it's great. It's a good weird.
It's an amazing weird, because why are you just going to go for one? You are absolutely not. It's YouGarden maths. I quite like it.
Yeah.
I like YouGarden maths. It's my kind of maths, that one.
I think it's Christmas Eve sherry maths, don't you? That's what I think.
Somebody has lost their mind, but we don't mind at all. So with this, what you need to do is make sure that you put 2 in your basket, okay? Make sure you put 2 of these in your basket. You must enter that code YGTV51 in order to get that double up deal price of £14.99 for 2. That's like £7.50 each.
Yeah. That's the best we've ever done.
That is the best we've ever done.
By far.
Total winner, this one. That's the top tip for the show. If we get any more pricing like that, that's incredible.
If you think of all the advantages, the fact that it is evergreen, that it will tolerate shade very nicely, the fact that it's got these gorgeous flowers and fragrance, and it's a compact plant that doesn't invade, looks neat all year round. Absolutely fantastic.
That's great.
So we do love that double up deal, 2 for £14.98.
I think we'll be coming back to that, won't we?
I hope there's nobody sat at home going, I'll just have one.
I really hope not. Just get it and give it to somebody else as a gift.
Yeah.
Give it to them as a birthday present or something in the new year, whatever. Just get it for them.
They're lovely. They really had such a great deal today. Right, we better move on there because...
Yeah, the Photinia.
Well, we've had Photinias on the show many times, actually, but this is the first time we've had a standard.
Yeah.
Very rare to get a standard Photinia,
I've not really seen Photinia standards. You were saying you'd seen some in some garden centres.
I did, and they're really expensive.
Yeah, and
really
I bet they're expensive. Well, the thing is with standards, because there's a lot of work that goes into creating these. It's not just a case of snipping off some side branches. There is actually a lot of work that goes into creating a beautiful straight stem and then this beautiful lollipop shape that we get at the top here. Now, the wonderful thing about the Photinia is that you get on the new growth, can you see these bright red, gorgeous burgundy, beautiful leaves going on the top here? And these are where the new growth comes. So you get that gorgeous red growth, normally in the springtime. I'm not going to question why we've got some on here now.
Well, with climate change, you just never know.
No, you never know. But what you will get is the beautiful new bright red growth on here. And this is the little red robin as well. So this one is designed not to grow as big. And obviously, because it's been grown into this standard shape, it's been designed not to get as big as a lot of the Photinias out there.
But there, I mean, the picture you're seeing right now, that's what it looks like in springtime with all the new growth. And they are amazing. They're alive, aren't they? Look at them.
They are so alive. And obviously you get so many of those red flowers on there. And it being the little red robin, the foliage is slightly smaller as well than regular Photinias out there, which actually makes the red glow even more on here because you get more of them.
I think they look amazing. And the lovely thing is, this is still going to look good all year round because obviously it's evergreen. Even when you're not getting the new growth, it still looks really nice. And a couple of these either side of your door are going to look magnificent all year round.
Oh, this is the beautiful thing about a Photinia because they just always look absolutely amazing,
and
don't
actually,
they?
Bex, they're so easy to grow.
So easy.
My garden's very exposed. I live in the middle of the countryside. You get really adverse weather conditions. I mean, it's so bad. I remember one year we had a big glass outdoor table, a wicker table with glass on it, and the whole thing literally lifted up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's that windy.
Yeah, it lifted up in the air and literally smashed on the ground.
Oh, my word.
So it's quite a difficult garden. I've obviously tried to create a few more areas that are screened and things like that, but Photinias pretty much withstand all weather conditions and all different types of environments as well. They're pretty hardy.
They're
really,
very, very hardy. Well, they have the winter hardy seal of approval.
Yes.
Stamp of approval from us. And anything that we tell you that is totally winter hardy, it does have a lifetime guarantee, which means that, you know, if it fails to thrive, we will replace it for you free of charge. All you have to do is cover any postage costs to get that out to you. So that really is all about peace of mind, knowing that you're buying from a reputable company that cares about you, that cares about the plants. So yes, you can definitely plant this one with confidence.
And you might want to go for 2 of those as well if you like your symmetry, like Bex. I love the symmetry too.
And we've got lots of pots, by the way, on the show coming up in a little while. So if you are looking to plant them out into pots, thank you for letting me mention these, then you absolutely can get hold of these. There are loads and loads of pots on our website. So by all means, if these don't tickle your fancy, there's loads that you can look at. But we're highly recommending these, aren't we?
Now, we'll warn you, over the past couple of weeks, these have been the top selling pots. They've been the most popular. The deal that we've currently got, and again, all of our deals are only for a short period of time, so don't leave it too long to get your double up deal on these. They're normally $22.99 each, but today $11.99 for one. But if you double up, you get your second Diablo planter for £3. So you're going to get 2 for $14.99. They look fantastic, don't they?
They really do.
Really
we love
good.
the kind of stone effect finish at the bottom there, and that metallic finish up here that's been almost crackled. It is beautiful. It's got what we're calling the shabby chic effect and feel to it, but they're not heavy. They're made of plastic, they're frost resistant, they're UV stabilized. They've got drainage holes already in the bottom here. That drainage hole is raised as well, which means that it's not going to get waterlogged on the bottom here. And this is, if you're buying it in conjunction with your Photinia or with any of the standards that we're bringing you on today's show, because we've got a few of them.
Yeah, we have.
This is highly recommended because of the depth of this. You need, excuse me, if you're planting your standards, you do need depth in your pot. You need to balance out the weight, because otherwise, unfortunately, you get a little bit of wind going and it tips over. But the beautiful thing is, if this does tip over, it's not going to crack and break.
It's not going to shatter into pieces.
But you would never know, would you? You would never know that that's made of plastic.
And I think you'll agree, $22.99 is a very respectable price. But today, 2 for £14.99. So masses of you have been ordering these, so do not leave it too late if you haven't got yours already. Should we see what the Fatinia looks like in it, Bex?
Yeah, let's
Well, we know it's going to look good, don't we?
Of course it's going to look
beautiful. Look at this.
Beautiful.
We know it's going to look great. Yeah, I think that is perfect, don't you?
I love it.
And do you know what I do as well with your free crocus bulbs? Because you're getting 40 free crocus bulbs. Just plant them all around the actual Fatinia. It'd look great, wouldn't it?
Yep, absolutely. You get beautiful display around the bottom
in
there.
springtime.
Like it a lot.
I tell you what, that pot really enhances pretty much every single plant. Also, coming up later on the Christmas Eve show, we've got a few more standards.
Salix.
Yes.
My willow. This one could go in there very, very happily. That one would be beautiful.
We have got...
What have you got? Oh, this one's my favourite. I want that one.
This is the standard Magnolia Susan coming up a little bit later on. I know it doesn't look a lot now. Springtime.
Oh my word, that's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
A standard Magnolia that has the pink flowers. Beautiful.
Yeah, that is going to be fantastic.
What about the rose standards? Patio roses. You get 4 of these. This is the biggest saving that we've got on the show. There's like a £50 saving from these. First year, the displays that you get from these, this ball of colour at the top is amazing. And
also coming up a little bit later, we have still got some of these standard viburnums. And these have been looking magnificent for about the past, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks, and they'll continue to do that all the way through wintertime. Look at that, Bex.
I love them.
That's amazing. I got these. Do you remember I got these?
Oh, the fragrance is just heavenly as well.
Mine have got lots of little twinkly lights in at the moment.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh, I should have taken the picture of my hollies. I put my twinkly lights around the holly standards. I forgot to take a picture because we've got holly standards on the show as well.
Yeah, we've got all sorts coming up. So.
Yeah, there's lots coming, honestly. There's lots coming. I will put one on my social media. I'll put one on my Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture later on tonight. It's all twinkly and lovely.
Are you excited about Christmas Day?
I'm so excited.
All organised?
We'll be later. It's fine.
Yeah. A few hours to go.
A few more presents to wrap, but, still got time.
A
small amount of time.
Do you know what I'm pleased? I bought lots of hellebores and I've got them all displayed around the house and they look great.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, we planted up the hellebores. I probably shouldn't say it in case the mother-in-law is watching.
Oh, yeah. No. But
she won't be watching, it's fine. We planted up the hellebores into our bird trellis planters, and the mother-in-law is getting one, and the mother is getting one. Excited. They're going to love that.
I tell you what, I know not many people give plants for Christmas, but I think it's a great idea.
No, I love it.
I really do.
I love it because they're going to enjoy those every year as well. It's not just a plant is for life, not just for Christmas.
And although we've got Christmas and New Year to look forward to, my head in the back of my mind think about spring as well. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I've planted 800 bulbs, spring flowering bulbs.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see those little green shoots coming out of the ground.
So we drove to work in the dark this morning. It was a really dark morning, and both of us arrived and said, "Just can't wait for those
can't wait.
light mornings." But don't forget, the days are getting slightly longer now.
That's it.
We've
gone past that point
now,
haven't we?
Past the shortest day of the year.
Yes.
Yes. But we've got brilliant brand new products for you. So if you are thinking about your garden next year, we've got loads of ideas.
We have, and we've got some great ideas for grow your own.
Yes. We like these.
This one. Now we brought some other blackberry thornless bushes earlier on in 2023, but we're bringing you another variety here, and these are thornless. Okay, this is what's truly exciting about this particular deal, because you can grow your own blackberries. You can pick, you can eat straight from the bush, you can create your blackberry pie, blackberry and apple pies, whatever you want to do, but you can do it in your garden from a thornless variety.
Yes.
How exciting embarrassing is
Without
that?
end up with arms that are completely scratched. Because we've all done it.
And these are going to give you so many blackberries as well, that you get abundant crops from these too. You'll get so many blackberries.
And when you look at the price on these, we are doing an amazing double-up deal, 2 for £14.98. I do love blackberries, but if you grow some of the other varieties, it's an absolute pain to pick them, isn't it?
Of course it is. Well, first of all, the plant really sprawls.
Yes, you've got.
And I mean, the blackberries that you see in the wild, that is what I would call a thug.
Yeah.
Because I've got one growing at the back of the fence.
They just get in everywhere, don't they?
They weave their way into everything. Now, this one's going to stay more compact. No, it's still going to get quite big. We're still talking about 1.5 meters, maybe by half a metre, maybe 1 metre. So it'll get a little bit bigger. But it's not going to completely take over. It's not going to be a complete thug. And the fact that it's thornless, I just think is the most amazing thing.
I think
you can get the kids involved.
Just going to say that. Because
yeah.
I think it's really important, if you've got kids, grandkids, whatever, to try and give them an understanding of nature and growing and gardening. So to be able to grow blackberries, but without the thorns, without the risk of them getting scratched and hurt, I think would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
but
I really
also, my mum is 83 and she's on blood thinners, so your mum's the same, aren't they? Yeah, so they've got to be really careful.
Got to be really careful about getting cut and things like that.
So great for everybody, this one. Any tips in terms of how to grow it, Bex?
To be honest, blackberries are pretty easy. Like, of course, you're going to want it in sunshine. If you want to get lots of fruits, you want to get nice, big, juicy fruits. You definitely going to want it
and the sweetness as well.
The sweetness as well, yeah. You're definitely going to want to keep them in the sunshine. Now, they do come on stakes. My experience with blackberries are they're pretty much self-supporting. They do sort of help themselves, but you might want to keep it staked whilst it's slightly younger, just to train it in the right way. But after that, I think it pretty much self-supports.
And great to grow in pots, of course, as well. Something like our 30-litre pots would be great.
Oh, yeah, fantastic in a 30-litre pot. So then you can keep it away from anything else if you want to.
I've got a thornless blackberry, and I do love it. It was from YouGarden. They just great. And I like to make a summer fruit pudding. That's my thing.
Nice.
Yes. And one of my best mates loves a summer fruit pudding, so...
I like that idea.
They're really easy. Have you ever made one?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, so easy. Bit of stale bread and loads of fruit, and that's it. Seriously, that's about
it. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean now. No, I've never made one, but that would be delicious.
You literally just take all your fruits, and blackberries one of the key ones, put it in a pan with some sugar, just let it soften slightly, and then you line a bowl with bread, and the bread has to be slightly stale.
Yeah.
But if it's not, what I do is just take slices out and leave them on the side for an hour or so.
Is that the one where you tip it over?
Yeah. So you line the bowl with bread, and then you put your fruit in, and then
bread on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then tip it over.
Yeah.
I like it.
But your blackberries, they're going to be great.
But you can pick these straight from the bush,
or
you can use them for jams and preserves, or you can put them in your cooking, or you can make a crumble, you can make a pie. I quite like the idea of an eaten mess, but a different take on it, with your blackberries and your strawberries and things like that in there as well. Nice.
But just growing your own is so rewarding. What sort of yields did you say, Bex?
Well, I think...
Several kilos?
Several kilos. You're probably looking up to about 5 kilos, probably once this is established, but you will get lots. I mean, you know what blackberries are like. You get lots.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, get lots.
Yes. But we added a brilliant double-up deal on the thornless blackberry there, 1 for £9.99, 2 for £14.98.
Yes.
We have got a bit more grow your own coming up, but we have got a gorgeous Daphne coming up now, pink fragrance, and this is really fragrant.
Well, this is why we love Daphnes, basically, because the flowers are beautiful as well, for sure, but it's about that fragrance, isn't it? You get such an amazing fragrance from a Daphne. Now, this one is lovely, compact, slow growing, perfect for smaller gardens. This is going to reach about probably 2 or 3 feet height and spread once it gets, to its fullest growth. The wonderful thing about this one is that the flowers are produced on the new growth, and that's what keeps it flowering all summer long. So it should start in around April. It should keep going for you all the way through the summer months, right through to October time, probably through till the first frosts, okay? And that's what's quite unusual about this particular one for a Daphne, that flowering on the new growth thing. You definitely want to plant this where you can enjoy the fragrance. This is not one you want to stick at the back of the garden in the border where you never go. You want the fragrance from this one because it is going to be absolutely beautiful. Sunny spot, but part shade will be absolutely fine. And it is winter hardy as well, so it has our lifetime guarantee.
And evergreen, of course.
Semi-evergreen, so yes, most gardens absolutely fine, probably just the coldest, harshest winters where it's going to maybe drop a few of its leaves.
Let's hope we're going to get a mild winter though.
Well, it certainly seems like it so far, doesn't it? But, I mean, we've still got January and we've still got February to go, so we'll see.
We're hoping for mild winter.
I'd like a mild winter.
Yes,
maybe 2 days of snow just so the kids can have a bit of fun, but then that's it, done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think most gardeners hope for mild winter, don't they? You want a bit of frost because it's good for, obviously.
It's good,
It's good to have a few cold nights, but we just don't want months and months of snow, do we?
No, thank you. Couple of days. I'm happy with that. A couple of days.
Now we're going to move on.
Build a snowman, let it melt.
Yeah.
Done.
Then winter's over. Going to move on to another brand new collection, which is our Vinca collection. And some of you know I've got quite a big garden, and it's a new garden, and there were some areas that were really difficult. Quite shady areas around trees and things like that. And I tell you what, I've planted Vinca, and they have been amazing. But I'm looking at the price because you are getting 3 Vincas here. $9.97 for 3.
For 3 of them.
They're normally nearly £10 each.
Yes, they are, and they're really quite. They're proven garden performers first of all, but they're quite invaluable, aren't they? Because they can really brighten up some dull corners. Because they don't mind being planted in a bit of shade.
No, not at all. That's where I've got mine. Around trees and shrubs. I've got them in really awkward areas. And they just look after themselves. They're great.
They totally look after themselves. Excellent ground cover is what we're talking about here. So those shady corners where you're struggling to plant something and you don't want the weeds to come up, because weeds don't seem to mind shade either, do they?
No, they don't.
If you want to get that ground cover and have a brilliant weed suppressant, but also something that's going to flower for a really long time, then this is a great collection. You get 3 varieties, you get 3 different colours, and you get something that'll flower for you right the way through from April probably through till September and October time. It's vigorous, it's low growing, it's evergreen, and doesn't mind what soil type you put it in.
No, they really are very easy to grow. And so what I really like about them, if you're somebody that has awkward areas where nothing much would grow there, Vinca is it's pretty hard to, dare I say the word?
You can't kill periwinkles, can you?
It's really hard to.
I mean, it's really tough because honestly, it doesn't mind sun, it doesn't mind shade, it doesn't mind the different soil types. It's evergreen, it's a weed suppressant. If you've got a tick list of things that you want from a plant, this is pretty much ticking most of those.
What I will say is you do need to keep your eye on it because it is
Of course, it
vigorous.
Will spread. It is very vigorous, yes.
So just keep your eye on it.
Yes.
But I love it for my difficult areas.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's about planting something where you need it. And if you need ground cover, if you need a weed suppressant, if you need these things, this is a great one for you.
And I love the fact you've got all 3 colours there.
Yeah,
That's
gorgeous.
quite an unusual colour for Vinca.
I quite like that one. I can't remember which colour's which, though. Is that the Seng?
I think it's a Seng.
And Ultra, I can't remember which colour's which. But anyway, you get all 3 of those. I love that kind of bluey purple one. The lilac-y colour you get there is really pretty. The lovely maroon colour that we just showed you, but also that white as well. And if you think about those sort of intermingling and mixing in with each other. So I said low growing. We're only talking about 10 centimetres height, but it'll spread.
We're like an old married couple now, aren't we? We do. We say. Have you noticed? We often said the same sentence at the same time.
And we did the same motion as well. And it was spread. Sorry, folks.
We've only been working together 5 months rather, but we've known each other about 20 years. So.
Oops.
Yes.
Oops.
Do you do that with your partners? You end up finishing the sentence and saying the same thing?
Yeah.
Because we do work a lot together, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
I think I see you more than I see my husband, to be honest with you.
And you prefer me?
I
do. Only joking, Kev, if you're watching.
Love you, Kev.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
He never watches, so it's fine.
Does
I can
he
get
not?
away
Fine.
with it. No.
Anyway, that's the Vinca collection. All three of those for £9.97. So easy to grow.
Yeah.
Great ground cover. That's the main purpose of Vinca, ground cover.
Ground cover, absolutely. But you get the beautiful flowers on there as
Yeah.
well. So it's got quite a few valuable traits, that one.
And so the only thing you have to do is just give it a good trim if it's spreading too much.
Yeah, and you just trim it back.
Yeah, and it's easy to do
easily
that.
done. To be honest, I've had Vinca before, and I've just kind of ripped it up.
Yeah, you can.
You just kind of get hold of it and rip it up out of the areas you don't want it in, and then it's fine.
I think it's brilliant. But, we've got something else new for you today.
I'm quite excited about this one.
I'm very excited about this.
So I did not know anything about this one before
Same
this one
here.
came, and I'm really quite interested in it.
I vaguely remember our head gardener talking me through this. I saw it on the nursery a little while ago.
Yeah.
But it's the first time I'd seen it.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's actually called a strawberry tree.
Yeah.
And people might say, is it a strawberry?
No.
I'm going to say, we're going to say not technically.
No, I mean, they sort of look a little bit strawberry-ish.
They do.
Don't they?
And they are edible.
And they are edible, but we're not recommending you eat them because they can be quite sharp tasting.
But they're fine to eat, but they're quite sharp. But they're great for preserves, aren't they?
Great for preserves if you want to do, jam making or preserves or anything. Absolutely fantastic. Or do you know what? If you just want to leave them on the tree and let the birds have them, because this is a great tree for inviting birds and things into your garden, because they'll love them. That'll be a feast for them.
Decorative, aren't they?
So decorative. And in actual fact, it is used as decoration at this time of year, because what happens with this one is, so you get the lovely, shiny, deep green, leathery, evergreen foliage on there. You also get pretty cream autumn flowers, and you get the fruit at the same time, because the fruit ripens from the previous year's flowers, and that's why you get flowers and fruit both at the same time.
Lovely.
And that happens around October, November time,
Wow.
basically. So then what you can do is you can cut stems off this, and you can use it for festive decorations and things. You can use it for adding into cut flower displays inside the home as well, which is absolutely brilliant.
I mean, you may have never seen this either, but what an interesting plant that is.
It's so interesting.
So year-round interest, always evergreen,
Yep.
but as Bex was saying, you get the flowers and those gorgeous fruits at the same time. And the fruits, as we said, they are edible, but they're quite sharp.
Yeah.
So you may not want to eat them.
I love the colour of them.
Yeah,
though.
but they do look like strawberries.
They do look like strawberries. They've got that lovely orangey red colour and glow to them. Plus, you've got that evergreen foliage on there as well. It's winter hardy, down to about -10. So really, I don't think this one's going to be a problem.
Not at all.
And it is easy to grow anywhere. Plus, coastal locations, which can be tricky, can't they?
So I'm definitely going to get this one, because although I don't live on the coast, I do live in a very exposed site. So,
Yes.
So a lot of plants that do well in my garden are coastal type
ones.
plants. So I think that would do great in my garden. And I know what I'm going to do, Bex. I'm going to pick the fruit and give it to you to make a preserve.
Okay, I can do that.
Because that's something
I
you
can
can
do that for sure.
Because I want to just see what it's like. Because you can use the fruits as preserves, so you can eat them, but they are supposed to be just a little bit on the sharp side.
Yeah.
But if you've got a palate that loves sharp tasting things, you might love them.
Yeah, why not?
But it's really interesting.
The
that
leaves
one.
look a bit like bay leaves.
Yes,
you
it
know,
does.
don't
I thought
they?
that. Yeah.
They've got a bit of a bay kind of look.
So they just look really nice and healthy, don't they?
I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, wonderful plant, evergreen. So first of all, that's absolutely brilliant. It can get big if you want it to. We are talking about a tree here. It can get 7-8 metres in height. It'll take a while though. Don't worry about that. It's going to be a few years before it reaches those kinds of heights.
And do I need lots of sun?
I think sunshine would probably be good for this one. You've got the flowers, you've got the fruits.
I know the exact
Most
place.
of those are going to need a decent sunny spot. And full sun, if you ever hear me say full sun, that means 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
Full sun is 5-6 hours in a daytime. So a little bit of shade's going to be fine as long as it's getting a good few hours
We're
of
just
sun.
about getting 5 or 6 hours of light.
I know. Never mind sun.
But remember, those days are getting longer.
Yes, they
are. Yes. And we're planning our gardens for 2024 on this Christmas Eve. And so, lovely to be part of your Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
Thanks for inviting us into your living room or wherever you are watching our
While
streamers.
you're peeling your vegetables.
Yes.
That's always the fun job on Christmas Eve, isn't it?
It is.
Get all the Brussels sprouts out. Do you put a cross in the bottom of the Brussels sprouts? There's 2 camps here. Some people do, some people don't.
I'll be honest. I've just concluded that nobody really likes Brussels in my family.
I love a Brussels sprout.
So
I mean, I only eat them at Christmas, but I do actually quite like them. I love a Brussels sprout.
I only like them if they've been fried in loads of butter and lots of bacon.
Yeah, no, they are nice then.
So the actual...
I quite like how there's like a bitterness to them. I quite like
Although
that.
sprouts... which programme did I see? It's a programme about breeding and plant breeding, and sprouts have been bred over the last several decades to be far less bitter. Because if you remember as a child...
they were horrible.
Yeah. And my mum... She used to make me eat my sprouts. That's why I've got a bit of a thing about them. And honestly, I remember as a child, I'd almost like go into like some sort of spasm. I'd be like, but now they're definitely not as bitter.
I love it.
Even my mum says that. She said, well, I was so cruel making you eat them sprouts. So I'm not a massive fan, but I will tolerate them with butter and bacon. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I might do
lots
with mine
of
this
butter,
year.
lots of bacon, and a little bit of sprouts. But I love the idea of the strawberry cheese. Oh, by the way, brilliant price on that, don't forget, as well, £12.99. But, hang on. Look at the price of the...
I know, and check out the size of it.
For some reason, I was thinking this was $14.99, and to be fair, that is the RRP, and that's what it would have been. But it's down to $7.99. Now, for the size of this blueberry, that is amazing. This is already a well-established...
Look at the size of it.
...shrub, isn't it? Look at that.
That is absolutely incredible. Very well established. Now, if you were watching our show last week, we had an early cropper blueberry. This one is a late cropper blueberry. So if you adore blueberries and you want a full season of cropping blueberries and you bought the early cropper last week, you need to add the late season blueberry into your collection as well, because this will crop for you obviously later in the season. So your early one will probably start around June time, and this one will go into August for you. So you can really extend that blueberry cropping abilities.
And I tell you, I'm looking at those blueberries.
Oh, look at them.
I mean, you know they're going to taste delicious, but what would they actually cost to buy?
So much money. You were saying you bought a little punnet last week, didn't you?
One
of those tiny little shallow punnets.
Yeah, I brought it in today.
What was it, 250 grams?
250 grams. It was
£3 something.
Yeah, £3 it was for 250 grams.
It's a lot of money. And if you think on a blueberry plant, once this gets established, you can be looking upwards, up towards 5 kilograms of fruit per plant once it gets established.
And I worked out, and again, it's a very rough sort of average price, but if you were basing 250 grams at £3, then you could be talking 50 to 60 pounds, as in money, worth of blueberries on an established plant every single year.
Yeah. And how much fun, and this you can't put a price on, you can't put a number on this, but just the enjoyment and the satisfaction of growing something and then being able to go out and, do you know what, you've got your natural yogurt in the morning or your muesli or whatever it is, and you can walk outside in August in those beautiful summer months, pick some straight off that plant and pop it straight into your breakfast.
It's wonderful.
There is no price you can put on that.
They're the sort of days that I live for, when you wake up early and it's light at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever. Cup of coffee for me. But going out and just picking some fresh fruit.
I love it. And if you've got strawberries as well, so you've got your strawberries and you've got your blueberries, and you can chop them up and then put them on your breakfast. And maybe you've got some blackberries growing. When do they crop? They're slightly later.
The thing is, you can freeze those as well.
Well, you can, totally. You can
both of those, they both go my summer fruit pudding.
Lovely.
Yes.
I love grow your own. I like the journey of it. I like the enjoyment of it. I like my kids being able to see where food comes from. One of them's into it, one of them not so much. But at least he knows it's happening, whether he's paying that much attention or not.
And I think we've all become a lot more aware of the environment.
Yeah.
And
food miles.
Food miles, it's just ridiculous, isn't it, to think fruit is flown across the world when you can grow it here in the UK and grow seasonally. We always used to, didn't we?
We were talking about this last week, weren't we, about how, if you eat a seasonal diet, actually what you end up with is a much more varied diet.
Yeah,
whereas if you just eat certain things, like we shouldn't be eating strawberries at this time of year. We shouldn't be, because they don't grow at this time of year. So.
And actually, let's be honest, they don't actually taste that good at this time of year.
No.
They taste best when they are in their own season, don't they?
Oh, they're delicious, aren't they?
So I think you're going to love growing those.
Yeah.
You can, of course, very easily grow that in a pot. You do need ericaceous for
you
that
do,
one?
yes. For blueberries, unfortunately, or fortunately, you need an ericaceous compost. Very, very easy. We do sell it on the website, so just grab hold of a bag of the ericaceous compost, and that means it's beautiful for growing in a pot on its own, because then you can put it just fully in ericaceous. But if you do want to put it in a border, you just need to dig a slightly bigger hole and mix in some ericaceous compost in there. The only other top tip we'll give you when you're growing anything that's in ericaceous is preferably rainwater, not tap water, because if you consistently use tap water, it will change the pH levels of the compost.
Chances are you get enough rain here in the UK.
To be honest, it's not.
Most of the year, don't you?
It's not a big deal at all. It really isn't.
It's a good tip.
It's just an extra tip if you can.
Yes. Particularly if it's like a really dry summer like a few years ago.
Yeah, it's not a must do, it's a if you can do.
Yeah. So we've had plenty of rain recently, haven't we? Yeah. Your water butts will be full.
I am going to buy myself a water butt.
Yeah, you haven't got one yet, have you?
I need a water butt. I haven't got one.
Now, lovely to have you coming. If you have just joined us, this is our Christmas Eve show. So I hope you're having a lovely time whatever you're doing. Yes, Merry Christmas. And we're certainly feeling very festive here in the potting shed.
We are indeed. We're looking forward to Santa Claus coming to visit later on.
Yes. Just thinking, I don't think he's got too much for me.
I'm looking forward to getting home and peeling my veg, which is what I need to do this evening.
Peeling the sprouts.
Get all the stuff done, and I will be doing that with a glass of wine, and I will put some Christmas music on.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting. Can't wait. Of course, I've still got kids in the house, so, it's all very exciting with the children.
I'm going down to our pub.
Yes!
Yes. We always have the village choir there on Christmas Eve.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, you say that. I mean, it's only amateur.
Just stick your fingers in your ears.
Joking. No, they're wonderful. And they always come to the pub, and there's a really good atmosphere.
I love it.
It's proper Christmas.
Yeah.
Everyone
if
sings
they sing
carols.
Silent Night, though.
They do.
I get.
Yes.
Don't know what it is about that song, but it makes me all emotional.
I like Hark the Herald, because there's always that, the bit at the end where it goes crazy, the cascade. Yeah, it's wonderful. So anyway, yes, that's what we're doing. So I hope you're going to have a lovely Christmas Eve, whatever you do. But thanks for spending a bit of it with us here on YouGarden.
Yeah.
Quick reminder, we have got such a great deal on this. Your eyes have not deceived you. 1 for $19.99 on our Sarcococker. Winter Gem, I know it's sweet box, Christmas box, the most fragrant winter flowering plant you could ever imagine. But we have got a very special deal for Christmas Eve, where if you double up, you get 2 for $14.98. Don't forget, if you are brand new to the show, you always need to put the offer code in, which is YGTV51, and that unlocks all the different promotions, including your free crocus bulbs.
Yeah, you get your free gift.
Yes, and you can still plant those. Do it as soon as you can, but honestly, you can still plant those even at this time of year. Also, if you spend over £30, you will get free delivery as well. This promotion finishes at the end of December.
It does, unfortunately. We will replace it with more deals, more offers, but that one is going to go away. So if you've got any things that you're seeing on the show today, now is the time to get your basket to over £30 in order to get that.
So think about some of the pots that we're showing you, compost, whatever. But if you get your baskets over £30, you will not pay any postage.
I would get hold of these, honestly, as a double-up deal, which is £5 less than a single. That is, it's my kind of maths. I love it. I'm not questioning it. I'm going to go with it. And the Sarcococker is just...
That is... that's brilliant value, but it's such a great plant. And loves
It's a great plant.
And is very happy in shade.
Happy in shade. We'll tolerate sun. We'll tolerate full sun, so that's not a problem. But if you've got a shady corner, this one is one to put in there.
It looks really nice in say, a shady border with maybe some ferns and things like that. So... 1 for $19.99, but do not buy one, go for 2 and you get them for $14.98. Also, that amazing magnolia called the Fairy Blush. Now remember, this is semi-evergreen, evergreen magnolia, depending on obviously where you live and how cold it is. It's compact, it will only go to about 4 metres. It will produce the most gorgeous flowers in springtime. You know what magnolias look like. They steal the show, don't they? They really do.
They are the standout plant, aren't they? When they are in full bloom, wow, you cannot take your eyes off them. And this one is going to be phenomenal because it will keep flowering for you all the way along those stems, and you'll get flushes of those happening. Mostly evergreen, only really the severest, coldest winters where it's going to lose them. And you can have this as a standout plant on its own, or you could plant it en masse because you could create a bit of a hedge going on here with this, which I think would be stunning.
I do.
Lovely little separator between a walkway or something. Create that lovely bush. That would be great.
And although you get most of the flowers in springtime, we're saying you will get some others throughout the season.
You
as
will,
well.
yeah, absolutely. You obviously you have your main flowering moment with your magnolia, but you should get more of them. And this one, you will get flowers on the younger plants as well. With a lot of magnolias, you have to wait several years before you'll get your flowers. But this one will grow flowers on the younger plants.
I am definitely going to be buying that one.
I like it.
I just swayed over that.
Swaying it.
Too much sherry.
He's had his sherry this morning, that's what it is.
No, I've been very good. Remember, I've got the pub later.
Oh, yes, that's it. You've got to save yourself.
Yes. But we're going to move on now to our hellebores. Now, I've actually bought these, and I've got them inside at the moment, just to make the house look really festive. But once Christmas is over, I will be planting them outside, because obviously they are an outdoor plant. And another shade one. In fact, this one would look great with the Psychococca, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely,
Both love the same position.
Both love the same position. Lovely shady spot. They'll work beautifully. They're both flowering at a similar time as well.
Yeah.
You know, December right the way through to
it?
March. Yeah, that's a really good display. December through to March, you'll get beautiful flowers on here. This one has been bred specifically for flower power. More of them and flowering for longer. And also, you've been pointing out that they're more upright as well, aren't they?
They are. I mean, I've got a variety of hellebores in my garden, and I've got some coloured ones, some purpley coloured ones and some peach ones, and they are beautiful. The flowers do naturally look down.
Yeah.
So unless you're lying on the...
Lying on the ground.
Lying on the ground.
In December.
Yeah, well, I don't think so. But we've had these for a couple of weeks now, and they are just getting better and better and better. And as Bex has just said, I mean, look at these. Look at them. My word.
There's so many buds on there,
Aren't they just gorgeous?
So many flowers, so many buds. I mean, we were counting 25 before, but I think, there's probably more on there now.
Yeah.
But you can see, look, down the bottom there as well.
Amazing.
Loads of them. So it's not just the ones you can see at the top, but there's loads of them coming through in the centre of the plant as well. Absolutely incredible plant.
Yeah.
Evergreen as well. Beautiful flowers. It's a total winner.
And when we get into January, which is a very bleak month, these will cheer you up so much. In your bed, your borders, in pots. I would say we've got some lovely pots on the show as well. But they are one of the best performers in winter, aren't they?
And they're an early source of pollen as well.
Yeah,
so that's a really good one to point out. If you want to invite those pollinators into your garden, because you've got those flowers on there, January, February, March, there are pollinators out and about at that time of year, and their food sources are limited. So this is a great one to give them.
And what is lovely about this variety, as the flowers age, they have this kind of shabby sheet look to them.
I really like that.
So they change colour. They go to a greeny pink, actually. Look at this one.
Look at this one.
So they look really, even when they go over, they actually look absolutely gorgeous, don't they?
I think they're so interesting.
Yeah.
So you get the lovely bright white that you can see here, and that one's starting to just age on the edge. But then they turn into these gorgeous displays as well, which just adds that extra interest on these. I think a hellebore is a total winner. That's another one that every garden should have somewhere.
Yeah, totally agree.
Nice and compact as well.
And I think we've all got those shady, semi-shady areas a little bit difficult. And we all crave a bit of winter colour, don't we? I love white. I think white always looks really classy. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So here we go again. Finishing
your sentence again.
What we like. But amazing value. Now, if you are not a club member, we're going to suggest that you join our discount club now, because you get 10% off every single plant and our compost, and we've got a current offer where it's £5 a year to join. So just run through this if you're not aware of our discount club. Normally £20 Today, we've got either auto renewal, which is £5 for the year, and that will automatically renew at the end of the 12 months, but you can cancel it should you wish, or the one-off membership for the year is £10. The benefits are huge on this. So 10% off every plan and accessory order. That includes compost, which you got on the show. You'd save about $2.50 on the compost today. 5% off every outdoor living and gifts order. We'll also give you, when you join, £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers to use throughout the year. So you think about this, you're paying £5 to join, but we'll give you £20 back that you can spend throughout the year. It's one every 3 months, and also exclusive offers, competitions, and expert advice as well. But we love the club, don't we?
Absolutely
So
adore
good.
the club, because you can save so much money.
Yeah.
Every single time you place an order, you can save money, and that is fantastic.
And isn't it nice when you put in a basket together, you see all those discounts and how it's done?
I'm sure we'll be able to show you that in a minute, in a little while as well. Stuart will put a little basket together, because it is fantastic when you see the savings just coming off.
Yeah.
So much fun.
You can save a fortune. And a lot of our regulars...
Excuse me?
So I've got used to it now, Bex. Do you know, touch wood, Bex has had like...
He's never been ill.
Cold after cold, cough after cough. There's lots of wood to touch here.
You're all right, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Got good constitution.
I think I had so many colds as a child and a teenager. I lived in London as well for ages. So I was on tubes.
You've got
and that.
complete immunity.
I think I must have had most of them. There's only so many, isn't there?
I tell you what, after having kids, my immunity is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll never get ill again.
I was once really ill with a cold, well, flu actually over Christmas, and that did ruin it, yeah. But only once.
Well, I feel fine. I feel
no, you
absolutely
do, don't you?
fine.
And you look fine.
I feel fine. It's just a really...
Just how you sound.
Exactly. Right, let's get glammed,
right,
shall
yeah,
we?
let's get glammed
Let's
up now.
get glammed up with some hydrangea glam rock,
Yeah.
and these are just beautiful.
Do your glam rock impression. What's glam rock look like?
I don't know, you have to do a kiss thing, don't you, with the makeup? And
yeah, and get the guitar going, and yeah.
I'm not very good at that.
I think I know. I can see you do a bit.
Stuart will be laughing at us because he's an actual guitarist.
Yeah. I thought you could look glam rock.
I could totally do that.
Anyway, this hydrangea, this does look very glam rock.
Okay, so it doesn't look like much now, and we know that. You know, hydrangeas don't look like much over the winter months, but this is about forward planning. This is about forward planning for something that is going to be so beautiful. Because just check out some of the pictures on this, because the flowers that you are going to get on this particular variety of hydrangea is going to be one of the most standout hydrangeas you have ever seen.
They are dramatic, these, aren't they?
Totally dramatic.
I mean, look, we've had some amazing hydrangeas on the show, but my word, have you ever seen anything quite like this?
I want that blue, that bright blue in the centre, the magenta pink, and then the lime green edges you get on there. That colour combination is going to be absolutely incredible.
And depending on your soil type, the colours may change or vary slightly, but you are going to get such a glamorous looking hydrangea. And as Beck said, they don't look great in the winter months. We know that, but when we get into summer and they burst into flower, they are magnificent. And actually, what I love about hydrangeas, the flowers do tend to last a long time as well.
They do. They really last a long time. And also, once they go over, they still actually look really interesting. Like, it's not something you want to cut off.
Yeah, you're right.
You want to keep those on there, because even over, you know, once they're faded, they still give you gorgeous interest, don't they?
Now, the one thing I do know with hydrangeas, I did make the mistake of planting some in a really sunny spot in my garden that dried out. And what happened was they just hated it, basically. And the moment I had to move them, I moved them into an area that's a lot more moist. It's the bottom of my garden, and my garden's on a slight slope, so the bottom is nice and moist, and they love it there.
Well, the clue is in the name with hydrates. They want a lot of water. They do want some sunshine, but they don't want to get baked. That's the difference. So, yeah, think about it where you're placing them. If they are going to go in sunshine, you need to be on it with making sure that they don't dry out. But a little bit of shade, probably protection from the midday sun, is probably going to be the ideal spot to put your hydrangea.
Semi-shade, reasonable amount of sun, but nice and moist. And by the way, if you've already had lots of sherry today, make sure you stay hydrated too.
Glass of water next.
Yes. So think about how much sherry you've had, and get a nice glass of water down you. Pretend you're a hydrangea.
Get some water. Absolutely.
I'm terrible for doing that.
No, me too.
Oh.
Me too.
But you do really do need to, don't you?
Don't forget that you do have a double up deal with your hydrangea Glam Rock, okay? So it's £9.99 for one. If you want to go for two and get that double up deal, please make sure you put two in your basket and then use the code YGTV51 and then it will come down to £7.49 each.
Isn't it?
If you don't enter that code, you'll pay £9.99 for each of them. So make sure you put that code in.
And postage is included as well, which is great, isn't it?
Fantastic.
Yes. I do like those. I've actually got white hydrangea, so I'm thinking a couple of those amongst it might look quite...
Yeah, I've got the Runaway Bride. So that's the only hydrangea I've got, which is beautiful.
That's a really
Gorgeous
nice
white,
one, yeah.
and it's kind of it's the mop head variety. So this is the newer take on the
Although
mop
I
head
might
variety.
actually put those in a separate area.
I think they're quite standout.
Yeah, I do.
I think they're
Think about it,
standalone,
yeah,
those
you're right.
ones. I think they're in a pot or...
Yeah.
Somebody was asking us, because about half-barrel displays. I think hydrangeas in half-barrel displays look absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I am.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for the new year. Bring on spring.
We don't want to... It's not like we want to get Christmas and New Year out the way. We don't. But I think as gardeners, we do struggle a little bit this time of year because the days are short.
The days are shorter, but there's still lots of jobs to do. And once we get past Christmas and New Year, I'm going to start doing, because I've never really been a seed grower. So I'm going to start with...
What are you going to grow? You're going to do cosmos, weren't you?
I'm going to do cosmos. I need to get some cosmos seeds. No, what were the seeds that we... Sweet peas.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to start with sweet peas. That's what I'm going to do first. Because they're quite an easy one, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to start looking at maybe sowing seeds, that's something we can start doing in January, can't we?
I'm definitely going to be planting seeds in January.
Cosmos.
Do you know, even in this last week, though, I got out in the garden a few times. And my mum did, bless her. My mum's 83, and she still managed to get out in the garden a few times. Only for a few hours. There was a couple of afternoons where the sun came out.
Very
and
nice.
she got a few jobs, and she felt so much better.
Always.
Yeah.
Whenever you can get out in the fresh air, it always makes a difference.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 10, 15 minutes, it makes a massive difference.
But we've got plans to make sure there's something happening in your garden all year round here at YouGarden.
Or in your house.
Oh, yes.
Or in your house.
We have got some extra shows that you can stream over Christmas and New Year. So as ever, check our website, yougarden.com. The shows will be listed there.
Yep.
Or go on YouTube. You know what to do. Type in YouGarden. And we have got a houseplant show, haven't we?
Houseplant show, which is so exciting. I'm thrilled about this. I love houseplants.
Lots of difficult names. It's weird because I always know the common names for things.
I'm learning them.
So there's a few between us that we didn't know, weren't there? But I always know it's most of the plants, in fact, nearly everyone on the houseplant show, we've both grown at some point.
At some point had or have currently.
But we've got all the proper names on the screen.
It's exciting.
Some of them are like this long.
We've got a houseplant here as well.
We have. Now, we do know this one very well. It is the iconic Venus flytrap, a jumbo one. And do you know what? We've had such a great response on this one.
I love it.
I tell you what, it seems...
Snap.
I think a few more of the traps have reopened on this.
I think you might be right, actually. I think there's quite a few that...
It's finally finished digesting the flies.
Well, that one's closed, that one's closed, that one's closed. Oh, there's a few more that are closed, but a few more that have opened up as well.
Yeah.
So
now,
clearly there's some flies around because it's having a munch on them.
Now, this is down by £5 right now. If you've never grown a Venus flytrap, they are obviously carnivorous plants. On a practical point of view, they do get rid of unwanted insects and flies. Now, particularly in the spring and summer months, when you've got flies buzzing around your kitchen, it's so unpleasant, isn't it? Particularly when you're preparing food.
It's so annoying, and I do not want to use fly sprays or anything. I mean, it's nasty. It's not very nice to them anyway, but also I don't want to breathe in those sorts of toxins.
You've got to say, if you ever read the back of those fly sprays, it's like, do not breathe, do not...
Yeah.
And it's very hard to avoid doing that.
Absolutely.
My mum last year, because we both live in a little village in the country, she got those sticky things that you put in your window, and do you know what, they really worked, but they look disgusting.
They look horrible, covered in dead flies and
you walk in and it's like, oh, that's nice, lots of dead flies. So there's actually a really good practical reason to have a Venus flytrap, or several of them. But they are fascinating.
I love them. I love when it actually grabs hold of an insect and shuts. Now, as you can see, this stick here, this is mimicking a fly or something. Now, there's some hairs on the inside of the trap. Once the fly or whatever insect touches it a few times, the trap snaps shut. The more the insect wriggles, the tighter the trap will hold on, and then it releases these kind of liquids to digest the fly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it gets its feed. That's where it gets its goodness from. You do not need to feed your fly trap. Your fly trap will get its own food.
And the traps will stay closed about 10 to 12 days. And then once the fly or the insect has been digested, they will reopen.
Yeah.
Now, there are a few things you need to know in terms of how to look after this plant, because it's a little bit different from some of the plants that you may have in your home. So first of all, it really needs rainwater. It does not like tap water. It doesn't like
it at all. No. It will kill it, and unfortunately, and I think
Bex knows.
I think that's what happened to mine. Well, there's two things that happened to mine. First of all, I left it on the windowsill in the conservatory. Now, yes, it wants a little bit of sunshine, but it got baked on that windowsill in the conservatory. So it wants a bright, indirect light, I think, your Venus flytrap. Plus, yes, the rainwater is quite an important one. It doesn't like I think it's the chlorine in the water. It really doesn't like that.
And it actually, because the native environment of these is swamps in countries like America, it does like to have, for most of the year, wet roots. It actually likes to be stood in a saucer of rainwater, but in the winter months when it goes more dormant, you just want to let the saucer dry out in between filling it up. In the summer, keep it sat in a source of water all summer long.
Yeah, constantly filled with water.
If you ever feel it needs a little bit more nourishment in the summer months, you could put it outside and it'll have a bit more of a feast.
Oh yeah, for sure, no problem at all. Just keep an eye on it. As I say, mine baked because I just didn't know enough and I didn't pay enough attention to it. So just don't let it bake. That's all.
Yeah. But they are fascinating. They are brilliant. If you've got children, I loved all plants as a child, but if you've got children, you're trying to get them a little bit more into nature and gardening, I think it's a great choice.
I think it's fantastic, and I'm saying it because I know my sons won't watch, but yes, I am getting this for my youngest because he will absolutely love this. This will fascinate him.
We have got that very brilliant price on it right now at just £9.99.
And by the way, the traps on here are some of the biggest traps that you will find. These can reach over an inch across, and trust me, those are one of the biggest offered for sale. So, of course, you can buy Venus flytraps in lots of different places, but you will not be able to get the big traps in very many places at all.
Yeah, I must admit, I've had a couple of Venus flytraps in my time, and they were far smaller than that. Far smaller.
Yeah.
You know that little demonstration that we did with a stick just to close the traps? Don't get carried away doing that. I mean, we did it just for demonstration, but don't keep doing this, because the trouble is, if you do that, what the traps will do, they'll close, they'll exert energy digesting what they think is a fly, but there's no fly in there. So it would kind of tire the plant out. So don't do that. I know it's tempting to see them close.
Yeah.
But don't do it. If you do it, just do it once.
Yeah, let the kids see it once, but don't keep doing it because, it'll kill your plant, basically. Yeah. You don't want to do that.
You'll have too many traps closed, using loads of energy, digesting nothing.
Okay, this one is incredibly exciting, because this is your world's first hardy gardenia. You might know of gardenia, you might know of the beautiful fragrance, but what you will know is that it's an indoor plant. Now, this one has been bred to be hardy, and we mean hardy down to -10 as well.
Properly hardy.
Properly hardy, yeah. So unless you live in some of the coldest areas in the country, then you are going to be absolutely fine with this. And we have a double up deal on here as well, and it's incredible, this double up deal actually, because you can get one for £12.99, or you can get two very well established, decent sized gardenias in the 2 litre pot for another £1.99, which is, that's just phenomenal, isn't it? To have a evergreen, glossy, beautiful evergreen plant in your garden that's going to produce some of the prettiest, most fragrant flowers. In fact, we were Christmas shopping yesterday, and there's a particular perfume, and I really want it. And they do 3 fragrances.
Yeah, don't drink it.
But they're £130 a bottle.
No.
But one of them is the gardenia fragrance, and it is absolutely heavenly. but I can't afford £130 a bottle.
No.
But the fragrance
not with
from
all the
that
plants you brought.
I sprayed it. Obviously, I showered, so I can't smell it now. But I sprayed it, and I was like, oh, spray that all over, because the fragrance was so beautiful.
And that is what you're going to get with these gardenia. Now, again, fully hardy, down to -10. Evergreen, gorgeous glossy leaves, and the most stunning white flowers throughout the summer. And it's nice and compact, this one. So, again, relatively moderate in terms of its growth.
Yeah, pretty moderate. We're only talking a couple of feet, aren't we? A couple of feet height and spread on this. So
a neat plant.
Very neat. Not one that you need to pay loads of attention to. It doesn't require like loads of pruning and maintenance at all. You know, you might want to just trim it to keep it looking really neat, but it actually already grows in that nice compact form.
And I love the foliage, really glossy, really healthy looking.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was thinking that I do love about YouGarden, it is the fact that we bring you not just great quality, great value, and we also pride ourselves obviously on our customer service, but we do bring you some really unusual varieties and some different things.
Absolutely. This one is just that little bit different,
I always think, and I might be wrong, but some of the garden centres or the big DIY stores with the garden departments, I do think they play it safe quite often.
Yeah.
And they just go for the
favourites.
Yeah, the crowd pleasers.
I love it when we got something just a little bit weird and a little bit wonderful. And actually, you love it as well, because what we do notice, we've got the firm favourites, of course, and that's important to bring you. But whenever we bring you something just a little bit out of the ordinary, you buy it. Yeah. So, you know, you like something a little bit weird and wonderful as well. Do remember with your gardenia, please, it does prefer an ericaceous compost. And when I say prefer, it's not essential. It prefers it. I would definitely be mixing in ericaceous compost. I probably wouldn't go full ericaceous. I'd probably go 75-25 with this one. But if you want to get lovely, gorgeous flowers, beautiful fragrance, it's important to add some of that in there. Otherwise, you just won't get as much. Won't get as many.
Yeah. I love red wine, but I'll tolerate white.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a very unusual analogy, that one, isn't
no, I like
it? It is Christmas.
We can all understand that one, I think. We're all on board.
If you go to friends, we like a glass of wine. I've only got white. Okay.
All right. I don't mind.
No red. Okay, I'll have white. Well, they're offering me a rosé, and I might go, oh, I'm not sure. I don't like rosé.
No.
No, do you?
No, I don't.
No.
I mean, if it was the only thing there, I'd probably drink it, but no.
So I'm not sure I would.
Given a choice, I'm going to say no, thank you. No, thank you.
Anyway, we digress. Going to say thank you so much for joining us. This is our Christmas Eve show. We've had a lovely 2023. Massive plans for 2024 with YouGarden.
Huge plans.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
We have got, just to give you the heads up, we've got all of our streaming shows at the same time. So Wednesday, Thursday. This is the new year, obviously.
Oh, yeah. It's all been agreed, hasn't
it?
So
10 till 1 on a Wednesday and Thursday. The same times on a Sunday, 10 till 2. So we're sticking with that on a Sunday.
Yes.
We have also got extra shows on QVC.
Yeah, we have. You're starting us off, aren't you, on this? Oh, no. The 6th is the first one.
Actually, we've got Greg Wallace with YouGarden on QVC on the 6th.
Oh, is he definitely doing it?
I think so, yeah.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, we're hoping anyway.
That'd be exciting.
With his little Sid Rose. I'm definitely there on the 7th on the 10 o'clock show in the morning.
Yes, I'll be here. Because that's Sunday, isn't it?
Yes. And we're there the following Sunday again. I think it's in the midday show, but we'll give you obviously full confirmation.
I'll be here.
And then you've got some though a little bit later on.
Yeah, later on, 19th and 20th, I think, which is a Friday and a Saturday. But we will keep you updated on everything that we're doing and where we're going to be and who's going to be where. We're always going to try for one of us to be in the potting shed, aren't we?
We are.
We do love the potting shed.
We do.
So we're going to try not to both be away at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, these will all continue and we will keep you updated. There'll be information on the website, or you can go onto either of our social media channels and we will keep you updated on there as well.
But the general message is there's going to be more different types of shows, more chances to watch shows, and some great new products coming up as well.
Yeah, fantastic products.
Yeah,
I love it.
Wow, honestly.
It's exciting times. So yes, there's the details for Shaun if you want to follow him
on
Facebook or Instagram. Shaun Ryan, presenter and plant man.
In fact, I was in a pantomime recently, And so I've just had some new pictures sent, so I'm going to put some pictures. If you want to laugh at me as an ugly sister, I'm going to put some pictures, and they might be there already, actually.
Shauna was amazing.
I did look properly ugly.
You looked great.
As you can imagine.
You looked absolutely great.
But most of my posts are actually about gardening. That was an
Yes.
exception. But you can follow me on Facebook, Shaun and Presenter and Plant Man, or on Instagram as well. I tend to put a bit more on Facebook. And then, Bex, you obviously use Facebook and Instagram. You put a little bit more on Instagram,
I tend to be
don't you?
more Instagram than Facebook. So, listen, it's up to you. If you want to have a little check out of what we do, all the details are on the screen there for you. So give us a little like and a follow, and we'll keep you updated with what's going on.
Yes. I think it's just nice to be able to know a little bit more if you're into gardening.
Absolutely.
And what we love is sharing information.
Yeah.
We love it when friends of ours that follow us, they'll message about certain plants that they bought and how they're doing, and they'll give us a few tips back and things like that. That's great. So yes, there's our social media details. And of course you can follow YouGarden. They put some great posts on social media on a regular basis. Right, we better move on because our holly is up next, and this is the variegated variety.
Yeah.
These are just so beautiful. And I was thinking about holly because I've got this variety in my garden. And it does look nice all year round. I never have to worry about it. It's one of those.
It's not one that you have to look after. I mean, obviously, certain amount of looking after, but it's not one you have to mollycoddle. It's not a diva. It doesn't require all your time and attention. You can plant this one out with absolute confidence because Shaun described it as bulletproof on a show a couple of weeks ago, and I adore that description of this because it is so easy to grow. Very festive.
Of course.
Love the variegation on there. There's something just really interesting about that variegation. And once you get the red berries growing on here as well, because this will produce those berries, you will have one of the most festive looking bushes in your garden that you can then use next year to create those wonderful kind of festive displays. But the beautiful thing, as we said, is that you can have this display all year round.
Yeah.
If you need an area covering and you want it to be evergreen, you don't want to have to work too hard at it, why not go for your holly here?
Now mine is big and established. Mine's about 10, maybe not 10 foot, about 8 foot. It's big, it's dense, but honestly, I do pretty much nothing to it. The only thing I do is take off branches around Christmas time and use them as indoor displays.
If you want to manage the size of it, because these can get, I mean, okay, so in 20 to 30, maybe even 40 years, you can get these to 15 metres in height. It takes a while to get there, but they're very easy to maintain. Obviously, you're going to want to wear some gloves because they are a little bit prickly, but you can just trim them back, can't you, to maintain the shape of these?
Very easy.
So simple.
To look after, to prune,
and
to grow.
buy one, get one free at £4.99. This one is just an easy one to add into your basket, particularly if you're trying to get over that £30 mark. In order to get that free postage, this would be a great one just to add in. Well,
they normally nearly £10 each, so they would cost for two £20 on a normal day. Two for £4.99, 411458. Now, Bex was saying about growing seeds in January, and I'm going to start certain things off in January. And actually, we have got, again, on our website and on YouTube over Christmas and New Year, we have got an essentials show which has got things like seed trays.
I need to get those. I need to get those shuttle trays.
Yes.
I want the one with the capillary matting.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
You were saying that was really good, weren't you?
Yeah.
So we've got these, and it's got the capillary matting, which helps to keep it sort of evenly watered, and
so we have recorded,
really good when you're growing seeds, isn't it?
Yeah, a special show featuring those and lots of our different feeds and various composts, and what else was on there?
We had some, we had the strulch, we had the bark as well, the bark chippings. What do we have? Lots of pots. Loads of pots.
So there's all sorts on there. It's all about gardening essentials. So do check that out on our website and, of course, on YouTube as well. But our best-selling compost is this one here, our premium professional compost. Been the top seller now for many years. It's had more 5-star reviews than any other product that we've brought you here on YouGarden. And we have got it 100 litres for $24.98 with free delivery as well. Do you know what, Bex? When I think about my garden, your garden, my mum's garden, the pub garden, I wonder what it would be like without this compost.
Yeah. Well, it's made a big difference. It's made a very big difference to my
Huge
garden.
difference.
I mean, everyone's got different gardens and conditions. Mine is particularly heavy clay, which, as Shaun always tells me, it is beautifully rich in vitamins and minerals, and I completely, I get that. However, it's very dense. It's very hard.
Yeah, a clay garden keeps you fit.
Definitely keeps you fit. It also gives you tennis.
Heavy digging.
Also gives you tennis elbow when you're trying to dig something out, which is what I did. Anyway.
Because in summer it's like rock hard, isn't it?
It's so hard.
And then in winter it's the heaviest wet sludge, isn't it?
But with this compost, what I've been able to do is start digging this through. So every time I plant something out into that clay soil, I try and dig as big a hole as possible and put loads of this in there and try and break that soil up. So it's really making a difference as far as that's concerned. But this can make a difference to every single garden because of the texture, because of the ingredients.
We actually say, our tagline for this is for everything from seeds all the way through to trees. And that is correct. It's brilliant for growing seeds.
But look at the texture.
I know.
This is why it's so brilliant for a variety of things. But let's just talk about seeds for starters. Look how fine it is. Look how light it is. Look how airy it is. Look at how there's no massive, great big chunks of uncomposted, wood and sticks in here. It is premium professional compost. So if you're planting seeds, absolutely fantastic. But if you're planting absolutely anything else in here, right the way through from, plug plants through to your ilex bushes, to your sarcococcus, to the Prunus triloba, your magnolia, all of these things, seeds through to trees, you are going to get some of the best results.
And I can honestly say, every time I buy a plant from YouGarden and I'm putting it in the ground, I always, generally speaking, put a little bit of the premium professional compost. And it is the compost that we use here in the nursery. So anything that we've grown or anything that's been potted on has been grown in this compost. So that's a lot. Bear in mind, we have 11 acres of plants.
Massive.
I mean, in the summertime, you should see the amount of plants out here. And even in the winter, there's still a huge amount.
Yeah.
So what's actually in the compost? Well, let's talk you through.
Okay, so we've got 3 different types of peat in here, black and white peat. That has been reduced over the years because we need to keep up with those environmental costs, but that is included in there. These little green balls that you can see that are evenly distributed all the way through this compost. You'll see loads of them as you're starting to work through the compost. That is your
mini sprouts.
That is your slow release fertilizer. So that's going to feed your plants as and when you need them. You will continue to do your water-based feed and your fertilizers and things, but that's really important because the plants can get hold of it when they need it, which is vital. We've got lime in here to balance out the pH. That's what turns it into a compost for you to be able to use for pretty much everything. Even houseplants really adore being in this stuff. We've got a wetting agent. We've got composted wood fibre that's absolutely brilliant at creating this texture, but also helps with water distribution and water retention as well.
And what you'll find if you buy the compost on a regular basis, I'm sure you'll agree with us, it's so consistent. You will never open a bag and think, oh, the texture's different. Oh, it's darker than I remember.
Oh, it smells horrible. It smells delicious.
It's wetter than I remember. No, it is made to perfection every single time. It is a premium professional compost. And what that means is there's not lots of marketing spiel on the packaging. It's just a white bag. It's used commercially, it's used here in the nursery, and it is our best-selling product of all time. And postage is included, of course, as well. £24.98. The RRP is £42.97. But with every order today, if you spend over £30, you'll get free delivery. That promotion finishes at the end of December, just to give you the heads up. So if you spend over £30, you will get free delivery, but that does finish when January begins. So only a few days left to get that particular promotion. And if you are buying the compost, actually, buy any other item, I mean, I'm thinking most items are over £6 apart from the holly.
Yeah, most things.
But anything else you put in your basket, once it gets to over £30, you will get free delivery on that as well. And we have got a free gift on today's show as well.
So your crocus, your species mix that you're getting in here, you're getting 40 of those bulbs included. Usual retail on this is £9.99, and that is absolutely free with your purchase, as long as you enter our special Ygtv code, which is Ygtv51, and that will unlock all of the offers. It It'll unlock your free postage over 30. It will add your free gift into your basket. It will give you your buy one, get one frees or your double up deals. It's really, really important to put that code in every time you place an order. And it does change on a weekly basis, by the way, so don't keep using the same code.
And honestly, you can still plant bulbs now. I planted some just the other day. There was a few hours free that I had one afternoon. It was nice weather, and I had some bulbs to plant.
Yeah, and the weather's still beautiful, isn't it? Still
really
able to get them out there.
So do plant those as soon as you get them, and you'll get some gorgeous displays. They will come up, I was going to say February. I think they'll still come in February, but they might just be more towards the end of February because you plant a bit late.
But then listen, they naturalise as well. So even if they come up a little bit later this year, they'll naturalise and they'll come up at the right time for you next year and they'll multiply, and that would be brilliant.
Just think about the spring flying bulbs. Such a nice thought, isn't it? Yes.
800 of them I planted.
Yeah, can't wait to see the pictures.
Let's hope they all pop up.
And don't forget, we would love to see pictures of your garden next year as well.
Yes,
so anything
please.
you've planted bulb-wise, we would love to see those in springtime. But if you have just joined us, a very warm welcome. This is our Christmas Eve show. Where's the year gone, eh? Wow.
What a year it's been.
A lot, yeah. Yeah, it has. Yes, I won't forget 2023.
We'll not forget 2023.
No, because we both completely changed our jobs. We joined YouGarden. Well, what a great year it's been.
Do you know, in the middle there, it was a bit rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bit rubbish, but then we've ended on a high, and we're going to start 2024 on a high as well.
And and those of you that have seen me on the TV for many years, I always did work for YouGarden on the garden shows in some capacity, but it's so nice to be a bigger part.
It is, isn't it?
And you know, you've worked with them for a fair time now, haven't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting up there now.
Yes. And we are getting, I'd say, better and better at our gardens, but we're still learning loads every single week.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, and we love sharing our gardening journeys with you. Let's remind you of what we've seen so far, though, on our Christmas Eve show here on YouGarden. Now, this is brilliant. This is our Sarcococa. I know this as Sweet Box. That's my name for it, Sweet Box, because it is so sweet in terms of fragrance. Now, it does flower in the winter. It won't be long till it's in flower. It's already in bud. It's just beginning to start to come out. So end of December, January time. The fragrance on Sarcococa is incredible. It is very, very highly scented. It is intoxicating. It is beautiful. It is evergreen, so the foliage stays beautiful all year round. It's not a fast grower, so it's not going to invade your garden. It's not going to overtake. It's brilliant in pots. And what we sometimes forget with Sarcococa is it is shade tolerant as well. It is absolutely fine in shade. So if you've got that difficult area, that shady spot in your garden, this is going to fill that up absolutely beautifully. Now the pricing on this one, I'm just going to point it out, one for $19.99, but it is our Christmas Eve show. So if you double up, you can get two for less than the price of one today. Just £14.98 for two of those. 510563 for the Sarcococa, the Winter Gem. Now, brand new today, I'm very excited about this one. It is the Magnolia Fairy Blush. What a beauty this is. Now, we love magnolias, and they are an absolute queen in the springtime, aren't they? But this is unusual for many reasons. First of all, it is predominantly evergreen. It will keep most of its leaves in the winter, obviously depending on where you live and how cold it is, but it is predominantly evergreen. The flowers are absolutely stunning, aren't they? Just look at the shades of pink that you've got in there. But also, this is a more compact variety. Magnolias can grow absolutely huge, but this one, over a fairly long period of time, will only ever grow to a maximum of 4 meters. So it is a little bit more compact, mostly evergreen, and a true performer. And that is down today by an extra £10. Buy it now, you'll absolutely love that in springtime. Absolutely gorgeous. Magnolia Fairy Blush. We've also got today some brand new Grow Your Own, and this is a double up deal on our thornless blackberry. One for $9.99, two for £14.98. Yes, it is absolutely thornless. So I think one of the only things we really don't like about blackberries, I mean, we love the fruit, we love the flavours, but the way that the natural varieties grow, it's a little bit difficult sometimes, isn't it? Because they invade, they spoil everywhere, and they are covered in thorns. So you can sometimes make it very difficult to safely pick your blackberries, particularly for young children, or if you like my mum's elderly and she's on blood thinners. So actually getting scratched by blackberries would not be good for her at all. So these are completely thornless, a lot easier to grow and to pick them, a lot more compact, and delicious fruits grown in your garden. These can be obviously grown in beds and borders, but they would grow very nicely in a large pot as well, something like our 30-litre pots that are on our website as well. Now, staying with the dark skin fruits, and by the way, dark skin fruits, as many of you'll know, are very, very high in antioxidants. Now, this one is wonderful. It's our late season blueberry. So we had one the other week that fruited in June. This is a lot later on, so we're talking July, August time. But it will produce a wonderful heavy crop of fruit once it is fully established. So potentially up to 5 kilos of blueberries. You can see there, just covered. Blueberries are one of the highest rated when it comes to antioxidants. They are a very, very good fruit to eat. I like mine on cereals. I like them in muffins. That's not quite as healthy, but I do like them in muffins, and I do love to put them in my summer fruit puddings as well. They're just a gorgeous fruit and very, very easy to grow. If you are growing blueberries, they are acid loving, so you will need to get an ericaceous compost. We've got that on our website, so just type in ericaceous. The good thing about our website, it's very predictive. So you type in a few letters and it does know what you're thinking. It's very fast, it's very, very good. But yes, you would need an ericaceous compost for your blueberries. Then we brought you the brand new strawberry tree. Now, strawberry tree, it's the nickname for this. It's not actually strawberries as you know them, but these are not strawberries that are really sweet. They've got more of a sharp taste to them. And to be honest, most people would just grow the actual tree for decorative reasons, but you can eat them. And actually, the best way of enjoying these is if you make things like preserves with them. But don't they look fascinating? The tree itself is evergreen, so it will keep its leaves. It does produce lovely flowers in autumn, and the fruits arrive late autumn. So this time, well, more like November time, but maybe into December as well. So the birds will have an absolute feast on these in the early winter months as well. But they look great, really decorative, and it's called the strawberry tree because they do look very similar to strawberries. They are edible, but more of a sharp taste with them. So you may want to you maybe want to grow that just for decorative reasons. But if you do want to pick the fruits, they do work very well in preserves. 510323 for the strawberry tree there at £12.99. Now, something that I've got in my garden, vinca, and I use this, like most people, as brilliant ground cover. If you've got really difficult areas that are constantly covered in weeds, maybe areas under trees and things like that where things find it difficult to grow, vinca is such an easy ground cover plant. It's pretty much indestructible. If anything, with vinca, and if I'm really honest, you actually need to keep your eye on it because it is very fast growing. It can be a little bit invasive, but very easy to pull up and to keep in shape. So just keep your eye on it. It does flower for many, many months of the year. You've got all of that lovely foliage as well. And it just is brilliant at suppressing the weeds. So any areas that are a little bit difficult, where you get maybe lots of weeds, or shady areas, it thrives great in shade, this is the plant to go for. Very easy to grow and a true performer. 511035, just £9.97. That is for all three, by the way. They're normally the best part of £10 each. Also, brand new on the show today, we have got a gorgeous Daphne. Now, Daphnes are known for their incredible fragrance. This one is called Pink Fragrance. It does have a long, nice flying period as well. But honestly, the fragrance on this one is divine. So place it somewhere in your garden where you're going to really, really enjoy that fragrance. Great one for the bees and butterflies as well. And semi-evergreen, depending on where you live and what kind of winds we have, but it is semi-evergreen as well. 510-732 at just £17.99. And then, don't forget, we also brought you those incredible hydrangeas, the Glam Rock. Absolutely love these. Don't they look fantastic? Now, when you have, I'm just being honest, hydrangeas at this time of year don't look their best. They're a little bit twiggy with a little bit of green on them. But when it comes to springtime, they'll start to burst into leaf. Then you get the flowers late summer, and these ones are just magnificent. They're extraordinary, aren't they? With purples and pinks and greens. Absolutely stunning. Semi-shade, I always think hydrangeas do well in sort of semi-shade, part sun. They do like moist soils. They do not like to dry out. Hence the name, hydration is needed in a hydrangea. You know, they don't like to dry out, and I know that because I planted a couple in a really sunny area that dried out very well. A lot on a sunny afternoon, it would often get very dry, and they just hated it there. But I did manage to keep them. I just moved them to a slightly moister area, and they've done brilliantly. 510-103 at just £9.99, or you can double up and go for two for £14.98. Well, it's our Christmas Eve show, hence the Christmas attire. Like that.
I quite like mine, because I had the hat the other day, but I quite like this one now.
I know you've had your hair done. You want to show it off, don't you? Like it a lot.
And the roots are starting to show through again already. It's the problem, isn't it, when you start going grey?
I wouldn't know.
Shut up.
That's just the sides that are grey, the sides. The tops are...
Yeah, you look all right with grey.
Yeah,
I should just let it go.
care.
I should just let it go grey.
Yeah.
I should.
Oh, no, I don't...
I'm just not ready yet. I'm not ready to yet. I will soon. Just not yet.
Well, I was just thinking, one of the things I love being out in the garden, I never care what I
No,
look
I don't care when I'm in the garden.
No.
There's no makeup. There's no hair done.
No.
I'm in the scruffy old clothes. Love that. I love being out in the garden.
I do.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just go all feral.
I'm just at peace in the garden. It's such a great hobby to have, isn't it?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Really is. Just the very, very best.
Okay, I've just seen the details on the screen. Okay,
yes, come on.
This is. Let me just move the prunus trello out of the way.
We've been waiting to show you this one, brand new today. What a beauty, the Magnolia Susan Standard.
I cannot wait for this.
Wow.
Okay, use your imagination. Of course, you need to use your imagination. But check out what you can see on the ends of here. There is growth, there is life. I cannot wait to see what this is going to turn into. I do not have space in my garden for a magnolia tree.
No, because the regular varieties, they grow huge, don't they?
They can get rid of it, and they are beautiful, and I love them. My mum's got she's got a really long lawn, beautiful, and she's got that central bit, and she's got a great big magnolia tree growing in the centre.
So in spring it must be.
Gorgeous. It's so pretty. I do not have that space, unfortunately, but I want a magnolia.
Of course you do.
This is how, if you do not have the space in your garden, you can get a magnolia, a gorgeous magnolia in your garden. This is the Susan, and it's been grown in this beautiful standard shape. Look at the colour. Just look at the colour of those gorgeous goblet-shaped magnolia flowers. Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah. And what is amazing about magnolias is that you get the flowers just as the leaves are forming, so the flowers really, really stand out. Now, my mum has got a standard magnolia from YouGarden. Hers is a different variety. She's got the stellata, which is gorgeous. But this one is going to look so impressive. And a lot of gardens are not big enough to handle a full-size magnolia. Not nowadays.
Absolutely not. I mean, I've got actually considerably larger garden than a lot of, newer build properties and things. But even still, I do not have the space to put one. But I could grow this gorgeous magnolia in a pot, and it would look beautiful. And actually, it'd be great to have this in a pot, because we know magnolias, they do tend to have a slightly shorter flowering season. Yeah,
of course.
Still totally worth having in your garden for the amount of beauty that they give you. But if you put it in a pot, once it goes over, you can just move. You can pop it somewhere else. Can't you? Move it out of the way.
I'm completely with you on that.
Yeah.
It's very true. It is worth having magnolia
Totally
because
worth
their beauty is outstanding.
And actually the foliage is beautiful, even when the flowers go over, isn't it? The foliage is really nice.
It is.
But you want the flowers.
You do.
And often with magnolias, you do get second, third flushes of flowers as well, don't you?
You do. Autumn time. In fact, this particularly, I think magnolias, a lot of them, where I live anyway, definitely had a wonderful second burst in autumn time. But a magnolia, when it is in flower, there is nothing quite as beautiful.
I know. Well, this one has the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit as well. So they've trialled it, they've tested it, they've said it's a proven performer. If they say it, I believe it, because it's the Royal Horticultural Society. They know what they're talking about.
I'm just thinking, Bex, have you ever had a moment in your life where you felt truly beautiful like a magnolia?
No.
Wedding day?
No, not even then.
No, I'm the same.
Magnolias are so beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't think I could even compare.
No, I've never felt like a magnolia.
No, they're that pretty.
Yeah.
They're that elegant and gorgeous.
Yeah.
I adore them, and it is also winter hardy as well, by the way. So it has the seal of approval, the stamp of authority from us here at YouGarden, which means that if it fails to thrive, we will replace it for you absolutely free of charge. All you have to do is cover any postage costs. But honestly, magnolias are. I mean, they're hardy, aren't they? They're quite easy to grow. You know, they're not divas.
Not at all.
You know, I've got plenty of friends who are divas, but not a magnolia.
Yeah. Hey, talking of which, if you're regular on the show, so we've been talking about poinsettias being divas.
Yes. How's your white poinsettia doing?
So I like poinsettias. So I bought a white one a few weeks ago, and I lost half of it because I forgot to water it.
Yeah.
So
For one day. Because it only requires a day.
Yeah, so literally half of it, but I've cut the dead off and I've turned it around. And actually the half that survived looks great. And I've kept my eye on it. But I bought 2 red ones as well.
Of course you do. You cannot resist, can you? You can't help yourself.
So literally they've been in the house 2 or 3 days. Woke up literally yesterday and they've just like this. And they dried out and it's my own fault. But they don't have been in the house 2 or 3 days. But I've got underfloor heating, so anyway, so I've shoved them in a sink full of water them from the top and soaked them from the bottom. Lost about half the leaves, but they've actually come back.
Who has not wasted their money this year?
And the helleborus that I got from YouGarden looks so much better. But I just like poinsettias, but honestly, it's the last year for me because...
Yeah, done.
Some plants are worth being hard work, but I've decided poinsettias aren't. Anyway, I think I'm right in saying everything on our show is really easy today. In terms
I
of
think for the most part, yeah, actually. We haven't got any major diva-ish type plants going on here.
No, we really haven't,
I don't think we have we?
No. Good.
Now, what we have
my
got for
poinsettias
you...
have worn me out.
And this one is an absolute stunner.
Oh, yeah.
So this is your Prunus triloba, the standard flowering cherry almond. Again, just a little bit of imagination required. But just like with those bulbs that we planted, you don't look at a bulb and go, ooh, I'm not going to plant that. I don't know what's going to happen with it. We know that that is a little ball of joy that's going to sprout into something beautiful. So is this.
Wow.
And it really is truly beautiful once this is in flower. Because this is a spring flowering cherry blossom, and you get that gorgeous cherry blossom all over these bare branches just before the leaves start to appear.
And you will get this in spring 2024.
Oh my word, you absolutely
You're not going to be waiting
will.
years and years. Now, can we just say, we're just being really honest, you're watching the show Christmas Eve, or you might be streaming it a little bit later, whatever. If this was springtime and this was in bud, just coming into flower, we could charge the recommended retail price $49.99 and it would fly, I'm sure.
Yes.
But actually, buying it now is so much more clever.
Yes.
Because you're getting it at half price. It has our winter hardy guarantee. So if it doesn't burst into flower and blossom, look magnificent, then we will replace it free of charge. All you pay is the postage. Talking of postage, it has got $6.99 postage.
Yeah.
It's in the big pot. It's 7.5 litres.
It's big.
It's really big.
It's heavy.
It will actually arrive in one of our biggest boxes that we do, and it'll be strapped in nice and securely. But spend another £5 or so, get your order to over £30, and it will be delivered free of charge. So definitely do that.
Just imagine.
Oh.
you see how it grows like that, and you're just going to imagine, because you can see along each of these where the buds are going to appear, can't you? You can see all the way along, and every one of those is going to turn into one of those beautiful blossoms. That's going to be gorgeous.
I just...
It's like a firework. It's like an explosion.
I love the cherry almond, don't you?
It is really pretty.
And it's a beautiful shape, this one, isn't it?
It's another one I want. Can I fit that into my garden?
Well, it is a standard, isn't it?
It's a standard. It can go in a pot.
Yeah.
One of our 30 litre. Oh, my word.
You could definitely fit this in your garden.
Hang on a minute. If
and
you
we have, by the way,
want
we've got
a pot...
Actually, look great in this one, Bex. Wouldn't it?
Let me just do this. Because we've got an amazing deal on the Jimi Hendrix. On the Hendrix, sorry. We're nicknaming it Jimmy.
We call them Jimmys.
That, in that pot...
Yes.
Will be the most beautiful display.
And actually, the pink blossom against the brushed gold finish.
And the black at the bottom as well. That's going to be outstanding.
Like in your style there, Bex. And we are doing, by the way, a really good offer on these. They're normally $24.99 each, but you're actually getting a pair for that price. And if you are looking for pots, we have got a gardening essential show that you can watch between Christmas and New Year. You can stream that. There's lots of special shows that we have recorded. Just keep you entertained between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah. And can I just point out, by the way, that's our compost in there.
Oh, of course it is, yes.
That is our premium professional compost.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, that's really heavy.
So you know that is going to really thrive in springtime.
So, yes, it's really going to thrive. I feel like I need that now.
Yeah.
Can I add that to my list?
Now, the pots, these have been another really big seller, really popular over the past few weeks because they are on offer right now, and it is the pair of Hendrix.
Yep,
I still want to call them Jimmys.
The Jimmys.
Hendrix for $24.99. They're actually the biggest pot we've had on the show, so you can grow really large trees and standards in there, and... They've also got this in the middle. Now, not only will that create a reservoir, so that will help things not dry out, but also that uses less compost then, doesn't it?
It uses less compost, absolutely. So you're saving yourself that amount of compost. And you wouldn't need to entirely fill that with compost. It's just absolutely not necessary. So that's great that that's been thought of. These are going to look really beautiful. If you don't know what you're going to do with them, I would still add them to your basket because this is an amazing price. I don't see us repeating this once we get into the new year. And
don't forget, we are definitely not carrying on with this particular promotion in January. So if you are going to get free postage, you need to put together an order right now that's over £30 and we'll deliver everything free of charge. And that does make a big difference. Things like the almond cherry, that's got £6.99 postage on it, of course. The pots have got $4.99, so we can get rid of all of that when you spend over £30. Don't worry, by the way, we've still got some other great promotions happening in January, but different ones, and not that one. We'll give you the details of the cherry almond just one final time, $24.99, and it's a good height, 1.65 centimetres.
Yeah, it's a really nice height, really nicely established, not going to get out of control. You know, it will reach sort of probably 1.5 meters in height, and you'll obviously get that beautiful spray up at the top, and you'll get that every single spring. Oh. So pretty.
I love spring.
Like
got
it,
the cherry
want
blossom
it.
out. I think you can definitely get that in your garden.
Like it, want it.
Yes.
Having it.
Well, you maybe have got some Christmas money.
I might have some Christmas money coming. Yes. You never know. I'll find out tomorrow.
Now, our next plant for you is our hardy fan palm, the Trachycarpus, which is a great price. It's only $14.99. And it is hardy, of course.
It is. Now, this one is...
Ooh, it's nice.
It's lovely, isn't it? The thing that I love about ferns, first of all, is sorry, palms, not ferns.
We have got ferns on our website.
I love ferns as well, but we're talking about palms right now. But actually, I love the same thing about both of them. It's the shadows that they create. It's the beautiful holiday feel that you get from them, because it definitely instantly makes you feel like you're on holiday. So it gives you that gorgeous feel in your own garden. This one's slow growing. It's nice and compact. It can get up up to 10 metres in height, but it only grows at about 5 to 10 centimetres every year. So you can see how long it's going to take to get up to those heights.
We'd be about 100 by the time.
Yeah, probably. So, you know, it's going to live a long, long time, a long and happy life. But if you want to plant this out into your border, please don't worry. It's not vigorous. It's not going to massively shoot up to that height instantly. It'll take a little while to get there. You could quite happily grow this in a pot as well, couldn't you? I've got... Oh, what have I got? No, it's a fern in the pot. It's not the palm.
You've got ferns on your...
I need Christmas to be here.
You do?
No, I do. You can grow these in pots and it will actually help to restrict the size of it, but because this is nice and slow growing, I don't think it matters if you want to plant this out into a border. It definitely wants a sunny spot though, doesn't it? You're definitely going to want a decent amount of sun on this one. Unlike your ferns. Yeah, I mean, this is hardy. Actually, we're showing you there, aren't we? Look. I mean, I was going to say to at least minus 10, but the tag is telling you a little bit more.
I was going to say, out of all the palms that we've brought you, I think this is... well, no, it's definitely one of the toughest.
Yeah.
I've got one of these in my garden.
Have you got this one, have you?
Yeah, it's in the border.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I've had it probably about 5 years, and it's grown a bit,
slow growing,
but not a huge amount.
Nice and slow.
But even that really bad winter last year got to well, my greenhouse said minus 10 in my greenhouse. Yeah, one morning.
Wow.
But I live in a very exposed garden, so it was...
That was cold then.
Yeah. So my garden did get really low in terms of temperature, but that was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's a really good one to add into your garden if you're looking for a palm, that holiday feel, but you don't want the extra work that comes with sometimes having to... And it's easy, but if you don't want to have to fleece and you know, all of that stuff, this is probably the one to go for.
I'm just thinking about the greenhouse. I think the thermometer was slightly dodgy there because the weather forecast said minus 8 it got to, but the greenhouse said minus 10. Yes, I wasn't.
Yeah, you can't. I never fully believe it. When my car tells me what temperature is, I'm not always fully believing.
Like, really? But one thing we do know, that really will withstand really low temperatures. One of the hardest palms to grow in the UK. So, because you might be thinking, why are you selling palms on Christmas Eve? Because that is fully hardy.
And because
it's great price
for everyone, and we want to bring you variety. We always want to bring you so many different things, and gardening is very much about planning ahead, isn't it? It's about thinking ahead to next year, to next summer, and what you need.
And she might be someone that really doesn't like Christmas and thinking, I just can't wait to get Christmas out of the way and get into New Year and start planning my garden.
Yeah, absolutely. Get yourself a little taste of something tropical if you're looking forward to the warmer months.
But can we just say thank you for joining us on our Christmas Eve show. And actually, Bex and I would like to say thank you to everyone that's been part of YouGarden and YouGarden TV in 2023.
Yeah, we were so excited to be here, aren't we? We're very thrilled about our workplace now. After a turbulent 2023, we found ourselves in the best place.
So we both worked for Company Fair. I worked there for 23 years.
I was 20.
Yeah, and it's been so great to now work for YouGarden. I'd always presented the garden shows, as many of you know, for years, but to work with YouGarden on a really exciting project. So stream the live shows, and once you start to stream, and a lot of you streamers on YouTube, a lot of you watchers on YouGarden.com, and some of you on Facebook, but it is easy, and it does make sense, doesn't it?
It is easy. Finally got my mum watching. She watched us the other day.
And I know a lot of you watch live, but equally, many people watch us anytime, whenever you've got a moment. Some of my friends watch us when they're in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
On the tablets and things.
Yeah, do you know what? I like nothing more now than cooking tea, because I get my iPad and get my little headphones in, and while I'm cooking tea, I'm catching up on things.
Yeah.
So I think that's always a good time to do it as well.
But we've had a great start to YouGarden TV, and next year, lots of plans. So there's lots happening with the live shows, the streaming shows. We are also going to be on QVC as well, as many of you will know, and some really exciting plans for 2024. Lots of things have been ordered for spring and summer.
I know.
In fact, it all has. And planned.
They've got to get on it, really.
Yeah, and things have already been grown, and loads to look forward to. And we're going to... I think if you watch the show regularly, you are going to end up with a magnificent garden.
Oh, Well, we're looking forward to how ours are going to look, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I know yours are going to look amazing in spring.
I can't wait. All those bulbs.
Bulbs galore.
And then I'm going to struggle, aren't I, for the rest of the year? But it doesn't matter. I've got lots of ideas here to help.
And actually, I know you regulars, you'll have received loads of free bulbs with your orders. So we want to see pictures of them as those
please,
bulbs
send us your pictures.
start to come through. Right, we're going to move on. Now, funny enough, I was in a big DIY store yesterday that sells plants.
Right.
And I was buying Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It wasn't late because they were half price.
Nice, that's the way to do it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And I wanted some extra ones. But I did have a little nose outside. I thought, wonder what they've got outside. And they did have mahonias, not this variety, the traditional mahonias. And I had a mahonia in my last garden, and I do remember it being so prickly.
Yep.
So anyway, I thought, I'll just touch the mahonia. And it really was.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just gently touched the leaves and it made holly look like the softest thing ever. So, you know mahonias, if you ever grow one, they are really spiky and prickly, quite lethal actually. Look at this, soft as anything, isn't it?
Yeah, this
Look
is the
at you
soft
caressing this one, Bex.
variety that we're talking about here. There is nothing prickly, there is nothing spiky about this one. It is the first spine-free and compact mahonia. We know mahonia, it's a very familiar border plant. We adore mahonia, you know, for a variety of different reasons, but sometimes we don't want the prickles and we don't want it to get so big, and that is what you're getting with this particular variety. So no spines, no prickles, and it's only going to get to about 1 metre in height and 1 metre spread.
I think the traditional mahonia is great if you don't need to go anywhere near it. It's true. Right back of a border with other things in front of it where you can just forget about it.
Yeah, leave it there. It's great.
But if you ever go near it, they are, jokes apart, but they are really quite, I'm not going to say lethal, but you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
And even the dead leaves, I remember picking up the dead leaves, even when they turn completely brown. But if they got through your gloves,
you've got to make sure you've got long sleeves and gloves and everything on, haven't you? You don't have to worry about that with this one. But what you will get is something that looks a bit like a fern.
Yes.
Which is gorgeous. Do love a fern. Something that is evergreen. And then you're going to get these beautiful buttery yellow sprays of flowers just poking out the top of that gorgeous foliage. And it's a late flower as well. So if we want to think about that successional flowering and extending the flowering season, this one's going to start in the height of summer, so around August time, but it's going to keep going through to September, keep going through to October as well. So just keeping that flowering season going for you into the autumn months.
I love the whole breeding process that this has gone through. To me, it has all the great things about mahonia, but it's got rid of the less desirable aspects. Now, you mentioned ferns earlier when we talked about palms.
I did indeed.
So we've got ferns now. Should we call them palms?
I love this collection of palms that we've got here. No.
Hey, it's Christmas Eve. We can have some fun, can't we?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And this one is a fun collection.
We honestly, we haven't been on the show yet, I promise you.
Not yet.
No.
In a bit. Soon. Still got to drive home, so we can't do that yet.
But we have got some great ferns for you, and we're going to give you, these are reduced in price, they're only $6.99 for 6 plug plants, saving more than you're spending tonight, saving £8, and all of these are evergreen, apart from one which is semi, isn't it?
Yeah, semi-evergreen. So potentially evergreen, just depends on where you are, where you plant it, and what the weather conditions are like. But this is a properly, carefully curated selection of ferns in here. And the reason that these have been put together is to give you that gorgeous variety of sizes, of colours, of shapes, and the different types of foliage that you're getting in there as well. Because even though they're young and they all look a similar colour green at the moment, they are going to mature and grow into these beautiful colours that you can see on the board there. The kind of pinky reds, the more minty green colours. I love that silvery one that's got the kind of purpley bits in there as well. And they're all going to grow to different heights and sizes as well. So some are going to be 50 centimetres, some a metre, some 1.5 metres. You don't need to worry about that, by the way. They are labelled. I'll show you that in a second, so you can see which is going to grow bigger than the others. But you've got things like the hart's tongue fern, the Japanese painted fern, the Korean rock fern in here. They are all absolutely gorgeous, and the reason I love a fern so much is that they can be proper problem solvers. Yeah, if you've got shady areas, I often think what happens is if you've got a fairly well-established border and you've got various shrubs and trees and things, there's always naturally the gaps in between. And you know what happens, if there's nothing in those gaps, you just get weeds. And then you've got to...
I mean, you like weeding.
I do love weeding, but also, you know, if you've got a larger garden and you don't have the time, yeah, you want to fill those. I've got loads actually in the borders, and I do love a lollipop shape. I don't know what it is. So I've got lots of established bushes.
And lots of standards.
Yeah, and lots of standards, some that I've trimmed into my own sort of standard shape. But yeah, that means that what I've got underneath is shady areas.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it's a sunny border, it's still shady because it's been covered by all of these. And I do get lots of weeds growing in there. You can plant a fern into that, and it's going to keep those weeds at bay.
I think ferns look really nice on mass as well. You're getting 6, so if you plant them in an area together, they can look actually really, really stylish in maybe 2 groups of 3. But they're such low maintenance. I know with my ferns, and I've got a whole side of ferns that I've got mixed amongst acers and grasses and things like that. The ferns just require such a little amount of attention. All I do when spring comes, I'll sometimes just chop off some of the old dead foliage, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just leave them to do their thing. Here they are labelled, so you can see the names of them, and they are letters. There are letters next to them. Those letters correspond and marry up with the letters on the mini greenhouse that these get dispatched to you in. So in those circles there, you can see that there are letters. There's C,
There you go.
B, A, D, E, F. So those will marry up to the label on the front, and then all you need to do is marry that up to the size, because the information on the website for these is brilliant, by the way, and it'll tell you which one's going to grow to which heights, which if you are planting en masse, obviously you want to plant the tallest one behind the shortest one.
And actually, just talking about our website, hopefully by watching the show we give you everything you need to know about the plants.
So.
But then sometimes we might have missed something, or you might have missed a bit of the show. But yes, every single plant has great information on our website. Lots of tips, lots of hints. Also, Bex and I and our head gardener, Peter McDermott, what we have been working on over the past couple of months is putting more online content. So quite often if you click into a plant, you'll get several images, and if you keep going, there'll be an online video which will talk through the plant in more detail, just to make it a bit more interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do bear that in mind. If you're ever not sure, go on the YouGarden website and you'll find everything that you need to know. But they are amazing in terms of value. And again, if you're trying to get your basket to over £30 to get the free delivery, that could be a great one to add.
Every gardener's got space for some ferns.
I think so.
Definitely, every garden.
Now, Charlie Boy is next. And these are on a buy one, get one free. And bear in mind, it's our Christmas Eve show. Look how vibrant these look for December, for late December. Look at them. The colour is amazing with Charlie Boy, isn't it?
Really is, because you've got it's the redder variety, and I love anything that's got the red or the burgundies included in it, because obviously, we get more greens in our garden, don't we? So this is look at those stripes.
I mean,
the contrast against the green in your garden is incredible with this colouring, but also the contrast between the kind of sharp sword-like leaves that you get on a cordyline against the softer foliage, the rounder foliage, I just think is really, really valuable.
Yeah, and we've got ours next to the pampas that's coming up later on. But look at one thing I've learned with my garden, and my garden's I say new, it's 3.5 years old, but we started pretty much from scratch. And yes, having different colours and different textures, it does make the garden so much more interesting. Totally. And at this time of year, those pinks on Charlie Boy, they are going to really stand out, aren't they?
On a sunny day. They are so bright, and that's sunny during the summer, during the winter. They really do stand out. That variegation, those stripes that you get really high are highlighted underneath the sunlight. And I just think cordylines are so valuable because they always look good. And every season of the year, every month of the year.
And one part of my garden where I've got the Charlie Boy cordylines, I've actually got the Loropetalum as well nearby.
Oh, nice.
So that does look really nice because the dark foliage as well next to the pink.
Very nice, yeah.
And then when the Loropetalum, which I know many of you got, when that flowers, you get the little pink ribbons. So again, it kind of just brings in the similar colour to the Charlie Boy.
There was some actual thought process went behind that, wasn't there?
Well, there is one side of my garden that I managed to do really well. The others are not quite.
Really thought about that. Did quite well.
I'm like, I thought I could have got the whole garden like that, but it's a work in progress, isn't it?
Always, every garden. I'm the same. I've got one border that looks great. The others,
oh no, come on.
Need to work on those. It's true.
But we're all working together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right, a few little tips with cordylines. It is buy one, get one free, by the way. If it's a really severe winter, because these are fairly young plants, just give that crown a bit of protection. Do what Bex is doing. Just tie it up, put a little fleece over something like that. They are winter hardy, but if it's particularly cold, we just don't know what January and February are going to bring, do we?
You need to protect the centre, because that's where the new growth comes from. So it's all about protecting that centre, basically, and that's why we would do that with them.
If a cordyline ever does die in the centre, don't give up on it too early, because what often happens is that you'll get new shoots from the side and it will just take on a different shape.
Yeah, and that can be quite interesting itself.
Yeah, I've got a few like that and they're great.
Yeah.
But if you do want to try and keep that in its natural shape, just keep it nice and protected, as Bex showed you. Give it a little tie up and put a fleece over it. But it should be okay. Yeah, they are regarded as fully winter hardy. Right, coming next, something that Bex and I have both got, and it is our fantastic pink pampas, and we are doing this as a single today, $9.99, postage included, or you can double up and do two for $14.98. And when I bought this a few months ago. I bought the pack of 3, gave one to Bex because I didn't need 3.
Hurrah!
Yes, but a lot of the viewers did message and say, oh, they want a pink pampas, but 3's too much, because these do grow really big. In fact, of all the grasses we've ever bought, here at YouGarden, this is one of the fastest growing, but it's definitely one of the largest. It's the largest, isn't it? Of course it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason we call it the Queen of the Grasses, and that's because it is regal. It is, and you need a bit of space for it.
You do.
It can spread by 1.5 meters, maybe even 2 meters, and it will grow to 2.5 meters tall once you get those beautiful feathery plumes coming out the top. So you do need space for this. And I mean, I've asked before, but I've never heard of it being grown in a pot. I've never seen it being grown in a pot. I'd love it if somebody can contradict me on that, because that'd be dead interesting to find out. But I don't think this one lends itself to a pot.
No,
I've never seen it.
No. It needs space.
You need a bit of space. Now, as I said, I've got a decent-sized garden, but it's not massive. But I have given up space to this particular plant because it deserves it. It's totally going to be worth it, because look at those pink plumes you're getting on here. And that is exactly what you could have in your garden in a few years' time. It takes a little bit of time to establish, but you planted some recent, is it 2 years old, yours
mine's
is now?
2 years old. No, I didn't buy pink. I wish I had. So I've got 2 pink now. I've actually put the 2 pink behind this one now, so there's going to be a whole row of pampas.
Lovely.
I mean, whether I should have put...
Should have moved that into the middle and put the pink on either side.
Yeah, it's just too big to move, I felt now. But look, 2 years old, and look at it.
Yeah,
Last year I got a couple of plumes. This year I ended up with 17, and they looked magnificent. They're actually still on there now.
Wow.
They're not quite as full. They've gone slightly over.
Yeah, they do, but they last a really long time, because actually your pampas plumes, your flowers, they start around July time, sort of July and into August, but then they're there August, September, October, into November, and actually because it's been so mild, they're still there now, aren't they?
The only thing I wish I'd
starting
done...
to go, but...
I'd meant to chop them off and dry them out and have them inside, but I left it too late and they'd just gone over.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
But honestly...
Because you're going to have loads of them next year.
Yeah, and some pink ones. Yeah. By the way, we do have, if you like the idea of pampas, we do have some mini ones on our website as well.
Oh, yes, we have the tiny pampas, don't we?
Yeah, I've got a couple of those, and they only grow to about that. They're
maybe I should have got some of them. No, I've given up space. I want that big, beautiful pampas. I want it.
But it's pink, and that is a rare pampas to see.
Well, we haven't seen any.
No.
And since we brought this to you, however many months ago it was now, 2 or 3 months ago, we've both been looking, and bearing in mind we're in the middle of Lincolnshire, there's a lot of pampas around here. A lot of people have pampas. I still haven't seen a pink one growing out in the wild.
So needs space, but also it does love a sunny spot. Mine is in full sun, south facing, and it absolutely loves it there.
Yeah.
It's 561 151, one for £9.99. Postage is included, or you can double up and go for 2 for £14.98. Just a quick reminder, do use that code today here on YouGarden TV. This is our Christmas Eve show, Ygtv51, and with every order you will get free crocus bulbs, which are worth £9.99. And although it is obviously late December now, it's still not too late to plant them.
No.
What I would say is plant them as soon as you get them, if you can.
Yeah.
If you can't be bothered to go out in the garden, just put them in some pots with some compost.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Enjoy them.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you planted them out, you can then leave them alone. You can leave them to do their thing. They'll naturalise, they'll multiply. So even if you put them in pots now, just let them go over, let the bulbs take all that goodness back in, and then you can plant them out into, you know, your borders or your lawn drifts or wherever you want to.
But they are your freebie today, and all you need to do is put that offer code in, and that unlocks all the other offers as well. So any other promotions, they activate once you put in the code YGTV.
I love a freebie.
Oh yes, we had
Can't go wrong with
we've
a
had some
freebie.
great freebies this year, actually.
Really good.
Really good.
A lot of my garden is filled with the freebies. A lot of my garden.
But yes. Hope you enjoyed all your freebies from YouGarden TV as well. Right, coming up next, we have got the Lakotho. Now, I've never grown this one.
Yeah, this is beautiful. If you are a fan of Nandina, then this is definitely one that I think fits the same kind of bill.
Yeah, it does remind me of it, I agree.
It's got a similar kind of foliage, and you've also got the different colour changing thing going on here as well. So the new growth on your Lakotho comes out this beautiful burning red, burgundy, beautiful colours, and then it will start turning into the lovely greens that you can see on there, the darker greens and the lighter greens that happen. It's ridiculously hardy, winter hardy down to -20. This is not one that you are going to need to worry about, but I also like the way that it grows, its growth habit. You get these lovely arching branches that happen on here that, as we said, turn that beautiful dark green colour after that, you know, as they start to mature.
And it is compact, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty compact. We are only talking about 75 by 75 centimetres.
So again,
2 or 3 feet is all we're
ideal for
talking.
modern garden, ideal for pots as well.
Yeah.
Fully evergreen.
Fully evergreen, but does require an ericaceous compost.
Yes.
So this is one that you're going to want to think about getting your ericaceous for. And I think that's why it works great in a pot.
Yeah, and if you are buying the blueberries that we had earlier that also require ericaceous, and you're thinking, ooh, I'm buying a big bag of ericaceous compost, what else can I use it for?
Yeah.
This would be great.
Yeah, get yourself a Lakotho.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a couple of them. So there's blueberries, there's the gardenia.
We did have last week a
I've forgotten
gorgeous
what the fourth one is.
rhododendron, didn't we?
Oh, we've still got it, the Bollywood.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, the rhododendron Bollywood, yeah.
And you're right, we had the gardenia.
Yes.
So lots of plants, not lots, but several plants on the show that do prefer an ericaceous composter. So we have got those on our website as well, if you want to add that to your order. But yeah, I might try this one.
I think it's gorgeous, honestly. And certainly if you're a new gardener or a busy gardener, this one's going to be great because it really isn't going to require too much of your time and attention. It is very easy to grow, very little maintenance. All you're going to do is prune it probably late winter or early spring. That's going to help you to create a bushier, neater plant, but that's pretty much all that you have to do to this. And you won't need to do that to it for probably until next year.
I don't know why I've never grown one of those.
No, me neither.
No.
Easy peasy, that one.
There's so many plants.
You can't grow everything. Cannot grow everything, unfortunately. I wish we could, but we can't.
I've got a bigger garden now, so because I've run out of space in the last one.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, I planted lots. I just need to wait now for it to actually grow. That is the key. I just need to be patient and wait.
No.
It's not my forte, is it?
No. But
Mum said I joined the back of the queue and they ran out by the time I got to the front of the patient's queue. It's true.
As I've got a little bit older, I've got a bit more patient, actually.
Yeah, I'm still not.
I have got.
I'm still not,
more
even for
patient with
gardening. I want it now. I want it now. Hurry up.
I don't know. I've just learned to be a bit more patient. I like the journey. I like seeing things grow and develop.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Now, as we head into obviously January next week, one of the best winter flying plants you're ever going to get is the hellebore. And we are doing a set of 3 of these, still at $16.99. This variety is a particularly good one because it has been bred to be a prolific flower. I mean, look at these. They are covered in flowers and buds. The variety is called Christmas Carol. It outperforms so many other hellebores out there. These will flower all winter long. They love a shady or a semi-shady spot. They are evergreen as well. In the summer, they do die down a bit. They still stay there, but they're less prominent in summer. But as it gets colder and a little bit more wintry, and the temperatures drop, they come into their own. And I love the flowers on these, because as they age, aren't they? They're just still so beautiful.
I love them.
We age as well as these.
I hope so. Well,
yes.
I'm not, but yeah, let's pray that changes. No, I love them. I love the bright white colours, but I also love when it starts to go over, as you say, and you get these greens and these blush pinks going on. It's just a lot of interest going on here. I like the way they grow. They stay nice and compact, about 30 by 30 centimetres, so nice compact plant for the front of a border maybe. And it doesn't need to be the brightest, sunniest border at all.
No.
In fact, it's better if it's a slightly shady border, because these do not mind shade. They're fantastic for bringing early pollinators into your garden, because they're blooming now, and they will keep blooming for you all the way through January, February and March time as well. This is why they're called the Christmas rose, because they're in bloom over Christmas, and just a nice additional kind of festive feel you can have.
But they will keep going all the way through those dark winter months.
All the way through.
I love hellebords.
January, February is tricky, isn't it?
It is. And you still need to... If the whole garden is just twigs and dirt...
Yeah, it's boring.
And depressing.
You need an excuse to get out in your garden and to have winter flowering and winter interest luring you out. That is a great thing.
And I like most people, I sometimes go on a real low in January.
Yes.
Because you've normally put on weight, eaten all the wrong food, maybe drunk a bit too much, and then... Then it's cold, it's miserable.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the 20th, 22nd, like 22nd.
Late on.
But it's not a good month. And I do think that you need those moments of happiness. And sometimes in January, you might get that lovely, crisp, sunny morning. It's a bit chilly. Wrap up and just wander around the garden with your first cup of tea or coffee.
Look at your hellebores.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Or you might have them in pots just outside your front door, and every time you go out in the morning and you're feeling a bit miserable going to work or whatever, you can just look down and see your hellebores, and I'm sure they're going to bring you so much joy.
Yeah.
And hellebores are really good at self-seeding as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I've got quite a few little babies in my garden. So, they will self-seed and spread over a period of time as well. Anyway, great value, $16.99 for all three, saving £13 today, 560054. Now, one of the most curious plants we've had on the show is our Venus. Are you all right there?
Yeah, I just nearly lost my hat.
Our Venus flytrap for you. So I'm just rearranging my pom-pom.
Get your pom-pom round so we can see. There you go.
That looks more like an earring now.
Yeah, this is the jumbo Venus flytrap, and the reason we've called it jumbo is this is one of the largest varieties that you can get on the market right now.
So yeah, actually a bigger trap, does that mean it will eat bigger insects, I presume?
Imagine so, yeah. You know,
those big flies, you watch out, mateys.
Absolutely. If a bigger fly was to land inside that big trap there, then it'll be able to grab hold of it and keep hold of it. And that is the wonderful or exciting thing about a Venus flytrap, because yes, it is a carnivorous plant. It will eat the bugs, the flies, the insects that buzz near it. And those traps can reach over an inch in diameter, and that's why it's called the jumbo Venus flytrap.
Now, I remember last summer, there did seem to be a lot of flies around.
Yeah.
And, oh my word, horrible, absolutely horrible, particularly when you're preparing food, isn't it? I find it so embarrassing when I'm preparing food, you've got gas and flies are landing.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
And you can't really use the sprays because obviously the chemicals are not good, and you're not allowed to use those near food in general. My mum bought those sticky things and they work, but they look disgusting. And those fly papers hanging down.
Well, we got a load of swatters.
Did you?
Last year.
But that kept you fit.
It was driving my kids mad as well, so I gave them a swatter each, and they were just running around the house doing that, trying to get rid of them.
I remember being in a restaurant, not particularly high-end one, and every few minutes there was this...
Yeah.
And they had one of those fly,
those
zappers.
blue zapper things.
But that is just such a disturbing sound to hear. So this is nature's alternative.
Yeah, I love the whole circle of life. It's brilliant, isn't it? That they can, it's feeding that next plant.
That's how it survives.
This is replicating a fly or an insect landing on the Venus flytrap. And when it touches it 2 or 3 times in quick succession, the flytrap will shut, it will snap closed, and then it will release its juices in order to digest that insect and feed itself.
Now, this was just a little demonstration that we set up for you, representing a fly. The fly is naturally drawn to the traps because of their colour and a scent. I can't smell anything, but the fly can. But as Bex was saying, there are micro hairs in there. When the fly touches those in quick succession, the trap will close. It will then digest the fly over a period of about 10 to 12 days, so that trap will stay closed. And when fully digested, the trap will reopen and the process will start again. Now, there are a few things that you need to adhere to with your Venus fly trap. We love that, don't we? We love that. So it does come with a little hologram.
I love it. Sorry, I'll put it away.
They naturally occur in swamps and in countries like America. So they do like to have wet roots.
They want a wet bottom.
Yes, they do. So keep them in a little saucer of water, and it has to be rainwater.
Yeah, so they want watering from the bottom. They don't want watering from the top.
No.
Mistake I made previously. So yes, the tray at the bottom during the summer months needs to stay wet all the time, constantly stay wet.
So
during the
constant
winter,
reservoir.
Yeah, during the winter, once it goes dormant, you water less. Same with
pretty much
all plants.
Yeah. Pretty much,
all plants, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to go more dormant, so you want that tray to fully dry out before you then top it back up again. So
but all the instructions are on our websites as well, so if you do forget, they are all there on our website.
Yeah.
But we think it's a great one to get the kids involved in. If you've got children and you want to get them into plants and gardening, it's a fun one, isn't it?
It's
and
a real
curious
fun one. They're going to adore that, and my son, who doesn't watch, so I'm safe to say it, is going to love getting that as a Christmas present.
Yeah, he's got one coming, hasn't he?
He's got one coming.
I think a lot of people have. That is down, by the way, to £9.99, reduced from £14.99, so you do get a £5 saving. Just quickly, because our promotion is finishing soon, where you spend £30 and get free delivery, really worth maybe stocking up in your compost. So maybe you just buy one or two things on the show and you've got currently a postage charge. You might as well get your compost now, because actually January, that's when we start to plant our seeds. That's when we begin to, even if you're not gardening like in January, you're certainly planning, aren't you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And this compost is some of the best when it comes to seed planting.
Yeah.
Because look how fine it is. Look how soft it is. Look how luscious this stuff is. You can plant anything from seeds right the way through to trees, everything in between in this compost. And it has been specially formulated that way because this is the nursery compost. This is the compost that the nursery have used and the professionals, the people in the know, use in the business.
And if you look at a standard compost here, so yes, the plant looks okay at the moment, but if you look at the root structure there, it's okay, but it certainly isn't impressive. Using our premium compost, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Far more denser, whiter roots there. And those stronger roots mean that this plant has got such a better chance of thriving and, of course, surviving. So, for example, the other year, not last summer, not this summer, but the summer before, we had about 2 months with very little rain. So any plant that wasn't well rooted and established would have really struggled. A plant with deep, dense roots is going to find that water so much better. It can search harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Stronger roots, better shoots,
Yep.
healthier plant, more fruits, bigger flowers, better flowers, longer lasting flowers. It's all about that strong foundation, and the strong foundation for a plant is in its roots.
And I'm thinking, when the odd plant of mine hasn't survived, when I've dug it up, most dead plants, I've not had many disasters, but when you dig them up, you sort of think, oh, hang on, it never rooted into the ground.
Well, I've had that problem multiple times, unfortunately, in my garden because of the clay soil. Now, some plants are, naturally adapted and love that clay soil, but a lot of them really, really don't. So I've had, unfortunately, multiple disasters in my garden. I don't now. I have way less disasters now because I'm using this compost. But previously, yes, I did. Yeah. And I would dig it up, and the roots, they couldn't grow because there was nowhere for them to spread. There was nowhere for them. They couldn't force their way through that thick, stodgy, heavy clay.
And what I
tend to
always put this in, generally speaking, when I'm planting in the garden and I dig a hole, I always backfill it with some of the compost. Now, it arrives in 2 50-litre bags. We could have do it in one big 100-litre bag, but it's a lot more convenient and easy when you've got 2 lighter weight 50-litre bags. It isn't branded because it is a commercial premium compost. It's a compost that all of our plants that are grown here, brought on here, repotted here, they all have the privilege of being grown in this absolutely amazing compost. But it is all about the formula on this, and it's a very prescriptive formulation. So when you open up, I mean, some of you will have bought hundreds of bags, but when you open them up, they all seem identical. I've never opened up a bag of our compost and gone, oh, this has changed.
No, because it's made to a recipe, and it's a specific recipe, so it's made to that recipe every single time. You will never be disappointed because it is consistent. The quality is absolutely consistent. We have 2 different types of peat in here, black and white peat. It makes up less than 50% of the volume of the compost, which has been reduced over the years to keep up with environmental concerns. Then it has been replaced with some incredible scientifically backed ingredients to help your plants. We have composted wood fibre. That helps with that beautiful texture. It helps with water, even water distribution, plus water retention as well, which is obviously vital. We've got a slow release fertiliser in here. There's loads of little green balls. You'll be able to see these as I'm running through the compost. That is your slow release fertiliser. That's going to feed your plants as and when they need feeding, which is really important. We've got lime in here to balance out the pH, and that's what makes this an all-round compost. Seeds through to trees, everything in between, and your house plants included.
So just to remind you, the only plants on the show that it's not totally suitable for are gardenia, our blueberry, our rhododendron, and the leucotha, and that's it. Because they all prefer an ericaceous compost. Everything else will absolutely love this one.
Absolutely love it. My houseplants, all of a sudden.
Yeah. That's the sound of a happy houseplant, by the way.
That's my Lily going, yeah. I like
by
it
the way,
here.
talking to houseplants, we've got a whole show that you can watch
so good
online all about our houseplants. And actually, Stu, our head of director,
good point.
He's our head director, he's head of technical, and he did say when you take the decks down,
everything looks bare,
doesn't it? Yeah.
You're like, oh, my house is empty. Fill it with plants.
Oh, right. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to shout that. But honestly, fill it with plants.
And we've got all sorts, so do look for our houseplant show.
Houseplants, they don't really look good, but they actually help to clean the air in your home. You know, we've got a couple on there, like mother-in-law's tongue, the snake plant. Love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. That thing will store all the oxygen during the daytime and then release it at night time. So it's fantastic for you to have in your bedroom because supposedly it can help you to sleep better. But it will also take the toxins out of the air, and it's fascinating. Have a watch.
I think houseplants are so beneficial.
So good. Moving on.
I'm not a fan of plastic plants. No. They sometimes have the place, don't get me wrong, but I think if you can have something living, breathing...
There's some really low maintenance plants you can get.
I think plastic plants are high maintenance because you've actually got to dust them.
Yeah. Well, you do have to dust your other plants as well.
Well, yeah, but plastic ones really...
No, I just don't like them. They don't look good.
Do you not think
they don't look good.
Do you not think they attract dust more, plastic ones?
Yes, quite possibly.
I think so.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. We're getting a science lesson. There'll be more static on them because they're made of acrylic.
There you go. I was just about to say that.
I knew that.
Right.
I knew that.
Let's remind you of some of the...
Negative charge particles, blah, blah. He knows his stuff to Stuart.
That's Stu.
He knows his stuff.
It's far brighter than us.
So much cleverer than us.
It is.
But we know more about plants, so it's all right.
Right, let's remind you of some of the great plants that we've seen so far on our Christmas Eve show here on YouGarden TV. So those gardenias, these are amazing. These are the world's first hardy gardenias. So we are looking at gorgeous hardy gardenias. By the way, if you want the Venus flytrap, the details on the screen there, $9.99 for the Venus flytrap, 800-155. But these are the hardy gardenias. The Jasminoids climbs. So hardy to about -10 here in the UK. So fully hardy. They do, of course, come with our lifetime guarantee as well. They are evergreen, so you're going to get this beautiful, glossy leafed foliage all year round, but in summertime, you'll start to see these really pretty white flowers appear. And I love the centres, I love the stamens and the whole structure and design of the flowers. But the fragrance, you'll know with jasmine, jasminoids, climbs, gardenia, they smell divine. So what I would do personally, you can put it in your beds and your borders, but personally I'd probably grow that in a pot and have it somewhere where you'll really benefit from it. If it's in a pot, you can maybe move it around more easily and have it sat next to you when you're outside enjoying the summer sun, which we will see again, I promise you. 510-530 for the hardy gardenia, the first hardy gardenia we've had here on YouGarden TV. By the way, the double up deal is brilliant. You buy one for £12.99, but if you decide to double up, you get your second one for just £1.99. Then we brought you the Holly Ilex, which is a variegated variety, which I just love. I know a lot of you will be sitting at home right now on Christmas Eve, surrounded by Christmas cards, and actually the image that you find on a lot of Christmas cards features this variety of holly. It's this holly, isn't it? That kind of picture postcard of Christmas. So this is a gorgeous variegated holly. It's pretty much bulletproof in terms of growing it. I've got one in my garden. I occasionally trim it back a bit, but it looks after itself. And I've got, say, quite an exposed garden. Obviously, you're going to get all the berries in the winter time, but actually holly looks very attractive all year round. Now, we are doing a very special price today. Normally £9.99 for one. We've taken £5 off, but also we are giving you a second promotion of a buy one, get one free. 5 and 1, 458 for that gorgeous holly. Then one of my absolute favourites, and I've got these in my garden, we have got the Sarcococca, the winter gem. I know this is sweet box. That's one of the common names. Some people call it Christmas box because it does start to flower round about Christmas time. So this is a very, very useful plant actually in your garden. First of all, it is evergreen. So you've got that lovely foliage all the way through the winter. In December, January time, obviously depending on where you live, it will start to flower. And the most amazing thing about these flowers, I mean, yes, they're pretty, but it is the fragrance. It's one of the most fragrant plants that I've ever come across in my life. It is gorgeous. And actually, as this establishes itself, you might well want to chop a few sprigs off, bring them inside, because the fragrance will fill a room. It is beautiful. Now, the deal today is incredible because £19.99 for one, but remarkably, and it's the first time we've done this, if you double up, you actually get a second one and then you save a £5. It's a really, really fantastic deal for this Christmas Eve show. So yes, don't buy one, why would you? Put another one in your basket and you'll save an extra £5. Always use the code, as many of you will know, you do need to use the code, which is YGTV51. That unlocks all the promotions and you'll get your free crocus bulbs as well. Then we've got the pink pampas. Now this is known as the Queen of the Grasses. And it is a queen. This one will grow to really, really big heights, up to maybe 2.5 meters by 1.5, 2 meters across. So it does need a lot of space. I mean, the great thing is, if you've got a big space that you don't know what to do with, you just can fill it with one of these. And this pampas will be very happy there for many years, if not decades to come. Does like full sun. Apart from that, they are incredibly easy to grow. But what makes this variety so extraordinary is the colour of the actual plumes, because they are pink. And I've seen many pampas grasses recently. They've really come back into fashion actually. They did have a period when they weren't as popular, but they are now bang up to date and in fashion. But the pink grasses look extraordinary. Now, a lot of garden centres are actually selling the grasses, or the plumes I should say, in a dried form. And once these are flowered, if you want to cut them off just before they begin to shed and go over, cut them off, dry them out, hang them upside down, ideally in a warm room, a greenhouse would be superb. Dry them off and they would make an amazing dried flower for many, many years to come. 561151. You can go for one for £9.99 or two for £14.98. Postage is included on that one as well. And then don't forget we had that lovely deal with our cordyline, the Charlie Boy. These are beautiful in terms of colour, really vibrant, really pink. It's a buy one get one free at just £9.99. Fully winter hardy, but with them being fairly new plants, if it is a particularly cold winter, just give them a little tie up and cover them with a fleece. Or if they're in pots, you can easily just put them to a more warm and sheltered position. But I love the structure, the architecture of cordylines. But with this one, because of the colour, it contrasts beautifully against other green foliage around it. It really does stand out. So a wonderful variety called Charlie Boy 680288. But if you have just joined us, what are you doing Christmas Eve?
Peeling veggies.
What are you doing? You're doing late, so later on you're doing
Later I'm getting ahead on my prep.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a few peeling veggies, put some Christmas music on.
Little tipple you're gonna have?
Little tipple, I'll have a little glass of wine. Yeah. Nice, chilled, relaxed. Yeah. There's no point getting stressed about it, is there? No point getting stressed.
No.
One thing at a time.
Well, I'm going to our pub and listening to the choir. That's what I'm doing.
I think you got the better evening.
Yeah.
You've got the better evening.
Yeah, it's really nice actually. I'm very lucky. The little village is a really good community, and yeah, the choir.
It's a cute little pub as well.
Yeah,
really
and the
nice
choir are really good. Really good. Right, let's remind you as well, free postage on all orders over £30.
Yes, indeed.
This promotion does finish at the end of December, sadly.
And do you know what? It's really easy to get your order to over £30, isn't it? I mean, like Shaun said earlier, just add some compost in, basically. Then you pretty much only have to add mostly one other item into your basket and it'll tip the basket for you. It is ending, as Shaun said, at the end of December. Unfortunately, there will be lots and lots of offers, savings, deals for you on YouGarden, because that's what we do here in 2024, but that one unfortunately is disappearing. You will get your free gift with every separate order as well, which are your crocus bulbs, pack of 40 of those, mixed colours, so you get purples, whites, the beautiful oranges. Love a crocus. I just think when it's one of the first bulbs to pop out of the ground, isn't it? You get your snowdrops and then pretty much the crocus come. Oh yeah, I forgot I've got snowdrops. Yeah, I have. Well, I planted some in the green. They'll be fine last year. So those should easily pop up for me this year, shouldn't they? To be honest with snowdrops, I think that's the only way of guaranteeing success. Yeah. To plant them in the green. Crocus are a lot easier. Yeah. They really are. Yeah, they're just going to pop up every year. And I know you might be thinking, oh, it's the end of December. Honestly, you can still plant them. I've done it before. I've even planted bulbs in January. Yeah. I'll be honest, when I planted crocus in January, I would say they came up a little bit short. Yeah, probably. Because they haven't got the time to... Yeah, just a little bit. But they're short anyway, so it don't really matter. Yeah. I mean, don't matter. Splitting hairs, but they were just a little bit They're probably shorter. Just a little bit shorter, but the beautiful thing is, do you know what? Your crocus come back year after year. They naturalise. So even if they're a little bit shorter this year, or they come up slightly later, they're in the ground for next year. So next year they'll come up correctly. But to be honest, they should be absolutely fine if you plant them I think as soon as you can. But they are absolutely free with every order today. Might as well get them in the ground. Absolutely. Leaving them in a bag. Yes. They don't want to. They want to be planted. Yeah. They want to show you how beautiful they can be. Right, let's move on to our lavender, because we are doing a buy one get one free with our English lavender, the lavender headcot, $3.99. But you will get two of those. 510319. We both love our lavender, don't we? I adore the lavender. It's one of the things I'm proudest of in my. I say in my garden. That's the front driveway there, all the way along the side of the driveway. I planted lavender. I think it must be, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I think it was about 12 or 15 little ones, probably about the size that we're bringing you here today. And within just a few years, it filled out. They've mingled together, and now I have a beautiful line of gorgeous mounds of lavender. And that video there is showing you just how many bees that were humming around there. You get bees and you get butterflies, and the whole thing is absolutely moving with life. It's beautiful. It is
lovely to watch.
So beautiful.
You see nature just having an absolute party.
Yeah.
I always wanted a little bit of a formal garden, so I had 2 raised beds created, and I filled them with lavender. Now, my lavender were smaller than the ones you're getting. I actually had plug plants. Within 2 years, those borders were full, and this is year 3 that you're looking at right now. So the lavender was just coming out there.
Yeah.
But honestly, they looked amazing all summer long. And I like, even in the winter, what I like about them, they're evergreen, of course.
Yeah, well, you've got the foliage on there. And that foliage smells absolutely gorgeous, by the way. It really does smell delicious. So it's not just the flowers that give you the fragrance.
It's really nice.
You get it from that foliage too. But what you do get with lavender is just easy flower power. You know, there are certain plants that just do their thing, and they do it reliably absolutely every single year. And lavender is definitely one of those. It just keeps going. June, July, August, September, flowers without you really having to do anything.
Now, I actually had, in my last garden, I had lavender growing. I didn't actually plant it. It was planted when I moved into the house. But there was lavender planted underneath a hedge down the driveway. Now, the lavender got virtually no water whatsoever because the hedge stopped it. It did get light because it learned to grow out.
Yeah.
So it did. I mean, it literally grew like that. So it got enough light, and it did get a fair amount of sun, but the soil there was shocking.
Yeah.
Really poor soil. It got very little water, and it still absolutely thrived. Lavender does well in poor soil. It does like sun, but it doesn't mind a dry condition. It doesn't like wet and cold and damp.
No, unfortunately, no. But poor soil, fine. Lack of water, fine. Long flowering, yes.
Bees and butterflies, yahoo!
Yes. And it's winter hardy as well, so it has our lifetime guarantee. You'll never need to use it. Lavender is pretty reliable. You don't really need to worry too much about lavender at all.
And a lot of you have been buying this on bulk because we are doing buy one get one free.
And you can create that kind of look.
One gentleman bought 12.
12, that was it, yeah.
And don't forget, if you do, so you bought 12 and got 24, of course. So if you do get your order to over £30, you will get free postage today as well. And actually, with certain products, the more you buy, the price comes down. And it's the same with our hedging and things like that. So certain items, when you're buying in bulk, the price will be reduced the more that you buy.
Yeah, and if you're seriously buying in bulk, you just need to get in touch with our customer services department, and they will. They'll talk to you. They'll do you some kind of a deal. If you're doing commercial quantities, we can help you out with that.
Now, we're going to move on to a bud that we would love you to grow this January, and it is our Amaryllis Red Lion. Single bulb for £9.99, postage is included. Now, I've grown Amaryllis. I used to grow them as a child with my mum, so I've grown them many, many times, and they are absolutely magnificent. This is a single large bulb. Now, what you need to do, you need to plant it in a pot, about 20 centimetres, not too big, about 20 centimetres, using our compost if you've got it. Keep the top third of the bulb above the compost, so up to about there. Water around the edge. Do not water directly on the Amaryllis. Put it in a nice bright spot. What you'll start to get, shoots coming from either side. You might get one. I think on a bulb this size, you'll probably get 2, one either side. The leaves will start to form, but they'll be very small. The flowers come first. And what you get is big stems, 50 centimetres. I actually had more than that, but it was about 50 centimetres. You'll get what looks like one big bud on the stem, but as that bud opens, there are several buds on the inside, and these are the flowers. And honestly, an Amaryllis, when it's in flower, is a stunner. It is so striking. It is incredible. Now, when the flowers die, what I will say is if you put it in a cooler room when it's in flower, it will stay flowering for obviously a lot longer, but you might want it in a warmer room where you're going to enjoy it more. When the flowers die, cut the stems right off at the base, Keep watering and feeding, then the leaves will start to appear. And during the summer, you just get loads of leaves. Keep feeding, keep watering. Then when it gets to autumn, you're going to be really mean. Stop feeding, stop watering, shove it somewhere dark, like the garage, and then the leaves will die. And that, hopefully, give it about 8-10 weeks. It should then prompt it into flowering again. But you've got to be mean.
Got to be mean to it.
Yeah, it's hard as a gardener. We want to love and nurture, but you've got to be mean for a while to get it to reflower.
You've got to force the dormancy, haven't you? So you're forcing it to go into a dormant state, so that then when you bring it back out and give it light, give it water, it goes, oh, it's time for me to grow.
Yeah.
And that's why you get such amazing quick growth on it.
And if you do manage to do that for quite a few years running, the bulb will get bigger and bigger, and you can end up with several stems.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So I've got an amaryllis bulb.
Have you planted it yet?
No, not yet. I still haven't got it.
Sorry, plenty of time.
I do, it's fine. But I'm going to do it every year. I'm going to bring it out and see if I can get it to come back.
Yeah.
Get it bigger and bigger and better.
But honestly, they're just a great bulb to grow, particularly in January when things are a bit bleak. They are magnificent. And if your house looks really dull when you put your Christmas decorations away, start growing one of these. It'll soon brighten up.
Oh,
now, staying with the red theme, we have got a very special rose next, which is called Rose Little Sid. And this is brought to us from Greg Wallace, who many of you'll know from the top TV programmes, great chef, great writer, great personality, great presenter. There he is with his lovely wife, and they've got a son called Sid.
Now, little Sid has autism, and Greg is actually an ambassador for a charity called Ambitious About Autism.
Yes.
And this is why we have this amazing rose here. This rose has been named after his son who has autism, but the brilliant thing about purchasing this rose, we'll go into how beautiful it is because it's a beautiful standalone rose on its own, but the amazing thing about this is that 25% of the proceeds, so £5 of the sale of this, will be donated to that excellent charity, Ambitious About Autism. So I just think that's incredible. 25% of the sale, because often it'll be, 10% is going, which is great, don't get me wrong, but 25% of the sale of that is incredible. And it is a beautiful rose.
Now, it does arrive as a bare root.
Yeah, this is it.
And
looks a bit weird, doesn't it?
It does. I always say, bare roots never look attractive, but they are one of the best ways of planting a rose. So when you get it home, the roots will be wrapped up. Unwrap it, give it a good soak for at least a couple of hours. You might want to even soak it overnight. You can plant it directly in a pot, or it can go straight in the ground. Dig a nice big hole, about twice the depth of where the roots are, and obviously a lot wider. I always use mycorrhizal. You do as well, don't you, Bex?
Yeah, absolutely. It's excellent at helping the roots form a great root structure. You know, it really is brilliant.
And actually, we do feature this on our Gardening Essentials show, which you can stream on YouTube and on a website. But if you want to add it to your, honestly, use that we can see that it's for shrubs, roses, edibles, trees, but it's the best start and has a lifetime of benefits for your plants as well. So if you want to add that to your order, it's a brilliant little helper that really will help the rose develop its roots and increase its nutrient intake as well. Back for the hole, I always put in a bit of our premium compost, and then do get that good water. And actually, I know you're planting this in the winter months, but still just keep an eye on it water-wise.
Yeah, you just want to make sure it's got, a decent amount of water.
Well, you sometimes get those dry winter months or windy winter months where things dry out.
That can dry it out, so you do want to keep it watered. Now, when you're planting it, you do want to make sure that this bit here, the union, goes below the compost, below the soil surface. If you're not used to it, I think you would naturally want to plant it to there. That's just, I don't know, that is what you would think, isn't it?
Yeah.
But actually, needs to go below the soil surface, so that's about where you're going to plant it to. So just bear that in mind, and that's it. And it's so simple. Yeah. But the benefits of planting, of buying bare roots is multiple. It costs you less, because if that was potted, had been grown on, looked after, you're paying for the materials, the pot, the compost, somebody's time to look after it, so it would cost you more. So cost savings, first of all. Also, the beautiful thing about planting a bare root is that you get a stronger, healthier plant, because it's in its home right from the start of the process. You don't have any of that transplant shock that can set a plant back. They go through stress when you move them. So most plants will sulk a little bit. Some will sulk for a year, some
Yeah.
will sulk for 2 years, not roses, but they will, it just sets them back slightly.
Whereas this, it will put all its energy into forming those new roots and get really well established. It loves a sunny spot, but okay,
Loves
part
sunshine.
sun.
Part shade is going to be fine as long as your roses are getting, 5 hours of sunshine in a daytime, and it doesn't really matter whether that's morning, midday or afternoon sun with roses. As long as they're getting about 5 to 6 hours of sunshine, they'll be fine.
I just love roses. Don't you? When you walk out in the garden,
I love them. I love the smell
and the shape of them as well.
I love them.
And fragrance-wise, this is not
Medium
too much,
fragrance.
is it?
No, it's not a heavy fragrance, and I know that puts some people off buying roses actually because they don't like the heavy rose fragrance. This one is what we would class as a medium fragrance.
But don't forget, £5 of every purchase will go towards Ambitious About Autism, charity that Greg Wallace obviously supports fully. But we've had some great edibles on the show.
Yeah, we knew you'd like these ones.
Yes, our thornless blackberries.
Absolutely.
I love this. And I've actually got one thornless blackberry. I'm tempted to get some more. Because I think blackberry, as a fruit, they taste delicious. But it's the picking of them that is quite arduous. And when I say arduous, it can be really... When you're picking blackberries, you can end up in a real state with scratches everywhere. This is completely thornless. So much easier to pick the blackberries. But also it grows in a nicer way because blackberries naturally, they sprawl everywhere, don't they?
They sprawl. They're climbers, aren't
Yeah.
they? They try and take over.
They wrap round other plants,
It's
don't
a
they?
thug.
Yeah.
It is a total thug.
Yeah.
This one is going to stay a bit more compact for you. We are talking maybe 1.5 meters by half a metre, maybe up to a metre. They are easily containable as well. They do require annual pruning to maintain their shape, but you don't have to work too hard at that. You're just going to trim them back. And the fact that this is thornless means that pruning job is going to be so much simpler than it is with a thorny blackberry. So the other side of my fence in the back garden, there's a conifer tree there, and it is currently getting strangled by a blackberry bush, which is, weaving its way through that, and it's coming over my fence. I have to trim that back constantly, and it is a nightmare because of the thorns.
And it's when you're picking up what you've trimmed off, unless you've got really good gardening gloves. And I don't know about you, but even when I've had really good gloves on, I've picked up my
Still gets you.
blackberry
Still
cutting,
gets you.
or a bit of it just somehow manages to spring round and get you on the ear
whip you
or
in the
whatever.
face or something. Yeah,
They're not easy things to do with. This one
frustrating.
is, and blackberries are very expensive to buy in the supermarkets. They're always expensive. And you only ever get a small punnet, don't you?
You do, and I think because they bruise quite easily, don't they? They're beautiful fruits. They're gorgeous, but they are quite soft.
So they're not great at transporting.
They're not brilliant to transport.
No.
But these, you can pick it straight you can pick it straight off your own blackberry bush in your garden and eat it yourself. You can use them in your cooking. You can make jams and you can make preserves. You can blanch them and freeze them so you can use them, at a later date. You'll get bumper crops from this as well, because we know how good blackberries are at fruiting. These will produce loads of fruit for you. Plus, you're going to get the lovely blossom on there as well. So you're going to get the nice fragrant blossom that's going to invite all those beneficial pollinators into your garden as well.
Now, again, we've got a great deal today. It's either $9.99 for one, or you can double up and get two for $14.98. You have got $4.99 postage, but again, if you get your order to over £30, you'll get free P&P. That promotion is finishing at the end of December. So if you stream this show a little bit later, I know some of you were streaming obviously now, but if you are streaming between Christmas and New Year, do bear in mind that that promotion is going to finish, unfortunately. We have got some new different promotions starting in January, but you will not get the free P&P on orders over £30. We have been officially told that.
Do remember that all of the offers, including the free postage, the buy one, get one free, the double up deals, they are all unlocked by using our magic key code, which is on the screen for you. Ygtv51 is the code for this week, but it does change on a weekly basis.
It does.
So keep an eye on it.
Now, staying with Grow Your Own, we've also got, this is amazing in terms of price actually, late season blueberry. Look at the size of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
$7.99.
It's a really big established plant already. It's in a 3-litre pot, so this is really well established. I appreciate there are no leaves on here at the moment. You do have to use your imagination, but as we know, gardening is all about forward planning. So getting hold of this now means that you can get it planted, you can get it in the ground, you can get it working on creating a lovely strong root structure, so that come the spring, once it starts to burst into life, it can start putting all of its energy into creating the foliage and the flowers, which will then, every single one of those beautiful fragrant blossom flowers has the potential to turn into this gorgeous blueberry fruit.
I remember I bought a honeyberry from YouGarden at this kind of time last year, and I put it in a pot and I kind of forgot about it, and then suddenly spring came and it burst to life, and it's just so rewarding to see fruit in your garden, to be able to pick it. And imagine waking up in the morning thinking, oh, I'm going to have some cereal today, I'm just going to try and be healthy, put some blueberries on it, or maybe, hey, make some pancakes as well.
Make a muffin.
Ooh.
Some blueberry muffins.
I've never made those, but I love eating them.
I love a blueberry muffin.
Yeah,
There's
so do I.
nothing quite like it. And American-style pancakes with some blueberries in it and a drizzle of maple syrup. Oh, can you tell I'm hungry? Is it nearly lunchtime? I'm hungry.
You'll have plenty to eat tomorrow, don't worry.
That's true, actually. Won't need to eat for a week.
Tomorrow, Christmas Day, be like, oh, I don't want to eat ever again. You know that feeling? That food coma that you get after Christmas dinner. But that's a great buy. It's only $7.99. And late season, so we're talking about August time for the blueberries.
In August, your normal cropping season for blueberries is somewhere between June, July and August. You can get an early cropper, a mid-cropper and a late cropper. This one is your late one, so we're talking about August. If you've already got the early cropper, we brought that to you last week or the week before, then you maybe want to add this in, because that will extend your blueberry picking season. Now,
don't forget, this is an acid-loving plant, so it will need an ericaceous compost. We do have it on the website. So the ones that need erication, blueberry, we had the gardenia, we've got a rhododendron coming up as well.
And the leucosi.
Yes, so there's a few plants that would prefer an ericaceous compost today. Right, two beauties here. In fact, this is a rhododendron I just mentioned, the Bollywood. I think out of all the rhododendrons we've seen on the show, this is definitely the most spectacular in terms of foliage. And you could argue the most spectacular in terms of flowers.
Well, you could argue with the flowers. I mean, rhododendron flowers are some of the most beautiful flowers that I think you can have. They're the most showy, they're gorgeous, they're silky, they're lustrous. But actually, the rhododendron Bollywood has a whole load of interest going on with it in the foliage as well. Because if I can just tip that forward, because what I want you to be able to see is not just the fact that you've got the green and cream variegation on these leaves, but you've also got hints and tinges of pinks and blushes and burgundies in there as well, which makes this a standout plant from, well, the majority of the other rhododendrons that you might have seen before. It is absolutely gorgeous. But then, once this comes into bloom, you will also have some of the showiest, silkiest, most gorgeous floral displays that you can have in your spring garden.
Well,
look at those.
This isn't called Bollywood for nothing, is it?
It absolutely isn't.
Look at the colour. I mean, and with a rhododendron, you do get a mass of those. But I do think those flowers set against the foliage, which also has little hints of pink, is going to look absolutely magical. So rhododendrons, yes, they do like an ericaceous compost. If you are planting it in the ground, make sure you put some of that into the potting hole, or if it's in a pot, again, use your ericaceous. They do very nicely in semi-shade. They can grow relatively big, but you were saying, Bex, this one is a bit more compact, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we are talking somewhere around, I mean, they can get a little bit tall, actually. So we're talking maybe 2-3 feet in height and about maybe 2 feet spread. So this is beautiful in a border. But also, I think with rhododendron, it is a fantastic feature in a pot as well.
I do.
And particularly because this is an ericaceous-loving plant, you know, you can fill that pot with ericaceous compost.
Because sometimes it is difficult if you've got a mixture of things and some like an acid soil, some don't, so as Bex said, perfect in a pot. I think it is magical. It's down by £15 today.
It's
and
lovely,
that is
isn't it?
5-10-7-1-7.
Look at those flowers. Look at the colour. It's like a magenta-y, salmon-y, pinky, just shiny, beautiful. It just looks unreal. It looks like a silk flower.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, we've had a lovely show this Christmas Eve. And again, a massive thank you to everyone that's been with us. Now, just to give you the heads up, after this show, if you stay watching, we have got a special clearance show.
Ooh.
Yo, we love a clearance, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
It has got a different offer code on it.
Yes, it has. So you do need to do separate orders. But yeah, it is an exciting show.
Yeah. So it's a clearance show. We've got all sorts of bulbs at clearance prices. We've got some plants at clearance prices, but also it's free postage on everything with the new code. So you do need to watch the clearance show and place separate orders because there's a different code on there. If you don't want to watch it now, because it's coming up after this show, you'll be able to stream it anytime, of course, on YouTube and the YouGarden website. But yeah, first time we've done a clearance show, which is brilliant.
I know, we were so excited about doing that show, weren't we?
Yeah. There's some really good deals. It's a show that we recorded, and oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a show we recorded, and you do need to watch. I mean, is it within the first minute? Like, please watch within the first minute, because there is a fantastic blooper on there featuring Mr. Shaun Ryan.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
I
Watch
completely mess up the opening, don't I?
It's brilliant.
So yes, clearance
so good,
show.
we kept it in.
The clearance show is coming up after this.
So good.
There's got free delivery, different offer code, and lots of items. When they're gone, they are gone. Yeah. So yeah, you'll love the clearance show. We really enjoyed recording it.
Loved it.
So that is
especially
coming up next,
the opening.
or you can stream it at your own convenience. Oh dear. Right. Moving on, because we are nearly out of time on our Christmas Eve show. This is the viburnum. I got these a few weeks ago. It's been in flower already for several weeks, and it will keep in flower for many, many weeks, and I would say months to come, because there are so many buds still to come out.
So many buds. You can see them all. So you can see the flowers that are opening, but also you see those little burgundy coloured buds on there. So that is flowers yet to open. I love how you get a mixture of them on the clusters. So you've got some that are opened, some that are waiting to open, some that are aging. You've got the pinks, you've got the whites on there. But it's the fragrance you get from the viburnum. Every time I put my face near it, I'm getting a waft of that gorgeous, gorgeous scent. And it's an evergreen plant as well. So this is going to give you year-round interest, but you've got flowers, you've got fragrance, and you've got it all on the same plant over the winter months. December, January, February, March, that's when it does this beautiful display for you.
And although viburnums are, I don't want to say commonplace, but they are a well-known, popular plant to have in the UK.
In the borders,
yeah. But not as a standard.
Not like this. No, you don't see them. In fact, I did see one in my local garden centre. Admittedly, a little bit bigger than this. It was a little bit bigger, but it was near the £100 mark.
Wow.
That's the difference.
I took my mum to it's kind of like a stately home in Harrogate, and they had a whole row of these, and they look absolutely amazing. Just quickly, by the way, that would look great, I think, in our Diablo planter, don't you?
100%.
Yeah. Now, these are still on offer today on our Christmas Eve show. $11.99 for one, but for an extra £3, you can get two, which is amazing.
Yeah, need to get two of those.
That transforms it, doesn't it?
It does, and it's the perfect colour, because I think you're matching some of the colour up here with the base down here, plus it is the perfect size for it, because it marries up. So the size of this, the circumference of this, marries up with the lollipop shape that you've got on the top here. Which also means when you plant it out, and because of the depth of it, it won't tip over, which I've learned, unfortunately, with some of the shallower planters.
And what I would do with your free bulbs, Just pop your crocus around there, and that'd look amazing.
It smells so good.
Yeah. Right, we're nearly out of time. Whatever you're doing over Christmas, have a lovely time. We really hope you do. Thank you for watching our Christmas Eve show. Stay tuned. We've got the clearance show coming up next with free postage, different offer code, and loads of brilliant deals. Like we've even got like triple packs of bulbs for the price of one
really
pack.
good deals.
All sorts on there. So that's coming up next.
I'm just thinking about the great blooper at the beginning. Watch that.
You need to go and peel your sprouts.
I do need to go and peel my sprouts and have a glass of wine.
Yes. We're going to leave you the details of the sake cocker because it's one for $19.99, but if you double up, you actually save a £5 and get a second place.
I know. Somebody's not done their maths right, and I don't mind because it means we're getting an absolute incredible deal. Winter flowering, gorgeous fragrance, evergreen, doesn't mind shade. We are ticking all the boxes with the sake cocker, a plant I've had in my garden for a good 8 years now, and it is a proper winter gem. And
it really does look amazing. But the fragrance is incredible. It really is. I think out of all the winter flowering plants we've ever brought, that's got to be the most fragrant by far, hasn't it? Yeah, it's got to be.
It is so fragrant.
I don't know anything more fragrant.
And you don't expect to get something so fragrant in the winter months, do you?
Well,
you do with this one.
Have a lovely Christmas. Have a great New Year. We will see you. Well, if you stay watching, we have got the clearance show coming up next.
Yes.
That we did record a few days ago. It's a lot of fun and it's got some amazing deals. Bex, have a great Christmas.
Thank you, you too. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, so to you, and Merry Christmas to all of our lovely gardeners out there. Take care.